Filthy Martini Studios in Ontario, California, it's the Foobar Show!
Hey, so we're back, Foos. We took last week off. For those who download our podcast on a regular, you would have noticed that there was a best of. And, it's funny that a lot of the best of consisted of Josh's dad, Carl, because the saga continues. Josh?
He doesn't,
Into the mic there, Josh.
I can't say he doesn't disappoint, but he consistently disappoints as well.
He's consistently inconsistent.
Very much so, Fu.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, we had a great, a nice little outburst recently this past week, trying to get everything, settled as far as the Airbnb for the bachelor party.
Yeah, that's right.
We are going to. And, Fusi over here was hunting him down like Stewie was hunting down Brian. What's my money?
When he
What's
owed
my
him,
money?
like $5 or something?
$5, I think it was.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. And so...
But I wasn't though. And that's the interesting part of this entire story is that I have a history with Carl when it comes to doing business. So at this point, I'm just like, fuck it. And if you will allow me to explain, can I take a couple of minutes of your time?
Please do.
All right. So a couple of years ago, more than a couple, but like a few years ago, I used to be an executive recruiter. I used to recruit, like office jobs or people of management. And your dad, I guess, needed somebody, a member of management for one of his warehouses. And he's just like, here's the job description. Go ahead and start recruiting for it. And I did. I actually busted my ass to find him a cool list of candidates. And then he just ghosts. Like I tried getting back with him and he's just nothing. Crickets. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to stop,
Does
recruiting.
he not need this position filled now?
Apparently not. And so I'm just like, I go into this situation where, the Airbnb is booked. I'm like, all right, everybody, this is how much it's going to be per person and go. And then mostly everybody's already paid up. I was actually pretty impressed and pleasantly surprised that mostly everybody, until, of course, your buddy Eric, who's been communicating, and your dad, Carl. And so I'm just like, so Josh, if you wouldn't mind contacting good old Pappy there, so that he can send over the funds. And he's just like, yeah, here's his phone number. I was like, okay, I'll contact him, no problem. And then...
Yeah, and again, my response to him was, hey, man, you have a better shot of getting a chance to get connected with him than I do.
Already
so
red flags.
There you go, man. Have at it. So when he asked me for the number, I even gave my father a heads up. I texted him, hey, be prepared. Jose's looking for his money, for the Airbnb. Just hit him up, or just don't be on the lookout. Never got a response back from him.
Yeah.
And
what so I said, okay, today's when I will text him just so it can, and it was a nice, cool little text. It's Jose. This is my number in case you don't have it saved. Blah blah blah. Guitarist extraordinaire of the. Fallen Electric and podcast
hyping
host.
Yourself up
Oh
there.
yeah,
Oh, see, that's Seafood. That's where he fucked up because he knew that wasn't you.
Dick. Yeah, so I contact him and I say it's going to be this much. It's going to be a fun time. Get back to me ASAP. One would think that a 24-hour wait time would be enough, nay, more than enough, to expect any kind of reply with, I'll get back to you on that, or sure, what app do you use so I can send over the funds, something like that. I don't know. Within 24 hours, I was expecting something like that. But crickets. Crickets. And then I think at a certain point, Josh, I text you, hey, Josh, is your dad's phone must not be working properly. And the foo is in this chat. He's like, oh, it's working. And so at a certain point, knowing, my history with Carl, I'm just like, well, I'm going to get his attention one way or another. And so I proceed to start trolling him, but it's not happening on a 5-minute basis. Like it's not happening back to back. I'm just like, hey, that's it. That's all I text. 6 to 8 hours later, Carl. And little things like that. It's like, hey, and then finally like the GIF that says Bueller, that one. And then finally, I'm just like, all right, well, I can keep this up as much as you can, or you can't. I forgot what I put. And then at a certain point, I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to start to recite the Emancipation Proclamation in text form. And then I even text, and then I'm giving you a heads up on all this. And I'm about to troll him.
Very much.
That I'm like, dude, something's about to go down. Please brace yourself. And so what? I guess you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to call Amy as his wife.
Yeah, so he gave me a heads up on everything he was gonna do. He even said, I'm just gonna send him this spam voicemail that I have saved from one of my spam calls. And he sent that. And so I'm like, okay, so this dude's really trying to get a hold of him. All right, gotta go to the
jugular.
The jugular. I gotta go straight to the source.
Right.
Hit up my stepmom Amy, and I'm just like, hey, can you please tell my dad to respond to Jose? And she's just like, he's taking a nap. I'm like, that's fine. Just let him know when he wakes up.
Next time you see
him, just let him know. That's not urgent. Just let him know.
And then I guess at this point in my trolling of the text messages, I had just finished typing. Because I just finished typing, all right, now prepare for the Emancipation Proclamation typed out in text form. And then I actually type in parentheses, inhales deeply. And then I get a response from him saying, who the fuck is this?
Oh, wow.
And he knows who it is. And then he's just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm out. I'm not in the bachelor party anymore. And I'm just like, so you're not in the bachelor party anymore. And he's like, did I stutter? And he spelled it wrong. And so I corrected his spelling and stutter. It's 2 T's, everybody. Come on. And then I'm like, okay, thanks. Meanwhile, this guy is getting an angry cuss out from his dad saying,
yes.
What did he say?
So this is the dynamic between my dad and I when we text or call each other. Usually I will give him a call. I won't get a call back for a week. And then I respond to him, oh, so you owe me money or something? Or something to that effect. Like, you're alive? Wow. So in this fashion, I saw him 5 minutes after I had texted Amy. I get the phone call. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. So I answered the phone. I'm like, hey, look who's alive. And the worst decision I could have made, because immediately he just goes into a rant. This motherfucker, and he's fucking texting me goddamn so much in fucking 5 minutes, every fucking 5 minutes. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm out. All right? I'm fucking out. This fucking asshole. Fucking boom. Hung up.
Yeah.
I had no words. So I text this guy, hey man, so my dad's out.
Let us get the fuck out of here.
Look, man, I'm 31 goddamn years old. I've been yelled at a few times by that man, and it just doesn't faze me anymore. It's just like, oh, okay, man. Okay, go have your tantrum. Go have a nice bottle of whiskey and shut up.
And, admittedly, I wasn't. My intention was not to piss him off, but to get his attention, and hopefully he would find the humor in it. But that just didn't happen, and I regret nothing. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't regret a goddamn thing.
And you shouldn't, Foo. You shouldn't, because though it was a little bit of a drama-filled day for me, it was quite entertaining, considering the things you were sending him. I'm just like, dude, I even, and I had told you this, but I warned the man that when we invited him to the bachelor party, I'm like, hey, look, okay, you have to pay your dues to Jose. He will hunt you down.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I lived with the guy when I owed him rent. Hey, bro, so when am I getting my money?
Right.
He's gonna hunt you down for money. So he's just like, oh, I'll make him work for it. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Oh, no.
You need to be very direct and very detailed as to when you will pay him.
Right.
And
that would really get me to shut up. It really would.
I've
if you
learned
just
that.
communicate.
I've learned that.
I just need to know so I can arrange some of my own finances, because there's a lot going on.
Exactly. And yeah.
He didn't take kindly to that, Josh.
He did not, Foo. And you know what? It's his own damn fault. And that's fine, Foo, because that just means there are no old farts at this bachelor party.
That's interesting. You know, I was actually looking forward to hanging out with those old guys, but no love lost.
No.
I mean, shit. It's gonna be. I'm actually looking forward to the next time I see him in person. I'm like, "What's up, man?"
Next family outing.
That's gonna be so good.
Oh, foo! He's gonna love you for some reason. He's gonna be really drunk and he'll be all lovey dovey.
God damn it! So I can't talk to regular Carl.
No.
Oh, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never met
You
them.
have to-
I've never met the regular Carl.
Okay. Well, fair enough then.
You have to talk to his alter ego.
Charles.
Carlos.
Oh no, you don't want to meet Carlos. Carlos is too much Jose or too much Patron. Whew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You don't want that guy.
No, you hide from Carlos.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I just wanted to describe that little piece of comedy that happened, within the last few days.
My dad's a fucking cartoon character, man.
Well,
I mean, what did I say? What can I say?
It's just so funny because we were hanging out with the Foo earlier today, and he pointed out that the fact that I chose, and I didn't, not on purpose, but just flashbacks of your dad like being referred to in the Foo Bar show within the last 6 months. I just thought it was a little funny.
Cool.
That it worked out this way.
I mean, there's going to be a new story every month, people. Stay tuned.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, the guy is a treasure trove of
My
stories.
goodness.
He once told me a story about how when he was a teenager, and my uncle, my godfather, DJ No Chill's dad,
Okay.
he used to have like a Ducati.
DJ No Chill.
He used to have a Ducati. So my dad had two cases of Coors Light under both arms,
Good God.
and he's not holding on to the back of him. So then my godfather, my Nino, he takes off on the Ducati, and he's like going. He's like, "Oh damn, I feel really light." He looks behind and just sees my dad on the floor with all the beer. Like, oh fuck.
How was the beer?
It was fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, that's
they
fine
didn't lose
then.
any beer, but he did have some pretty bad road rash.
Oh, gross. That's gotta hurt. On tap today, we've got Ollie, G Baby, Luna. Welcome back, bro.
Hello.
It's been a minute, man. When's the last time you were on the show?
Last time was the virtual one where I was recovering
You were recovering because you fell off of a cliff.
because I fell off a mountain in Hawaii.
A mountain. An entire fucking mountain. I keep saying cliff because I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt,
No.
but a mountain has two sides.
Yeah, it was definitely a mountain. Yeah, I fell on the correct side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, obviously
At least that going for me.
you'd like to think so, seeing that you're still alive.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, you gotta take
so-
a win when it comes.
Now, you've been here for a couple of hours already. You showed up around 4 p.m. It's already about 6:30. And you were telling us throughout the course of the last couple hours that it's been you're still recovering technically.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how's that treating you, man?
I have no issues. The reason I say I'm recovering still is because the wound, it just needs to heal like any other wound. So when you look at it, it looks fine, but internally it's still doing its thing. So
Right.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I'm going, man. I'm
Yeah, you've been busy, dude. Like you're
I was
all
on a
over the
hike
map.
yesterday. So.
Oh shit.
You just don't learn, do you?
Hey, you got to get the workout in. You
I
got to get
guess.
those steps in somehow.
Yeah. Well, and we've been kind of chatting back and forth here and there. I guess this is we were gonna have you on before we went to Hawaii, but then
Right.
considering what happened last December, where you almost gave us COVID,
Yeah.
yeah, we decided not to take the chance.
I mean, I had COVID.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
Yeah.
caused
you
the
guys
scare.
almost got.
We
you guys
almost got COVID because
Yeah, nobody wants that. So.
no, I guess not.
I think you're done. You get it once. Paid your dues to
Calm down,
society.
Aaron Rodgers.
Right?
Calm down.
Yeah.
No, I get it. No, I know how it works. I'm just, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
paid your debt to society.
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been all over the United States for the better part of this year. As soon as you can get back on your feet, you just got to work.
Yeah.
So just to reintroduce you to the crowd here, I mean, if you're an avid listener, you'd know that G Baby's he's a friend of the show. I've known him for many years, and lately you've been doing this audiovisual thing. You have an audiovisual company, ALF,
correct.
and you get into a bunch of crazy shenanigans while you're out and about.
We try to make the most of it. Yeah. We have a, we don't have too much time. We're in and out. So it's a 1 day. Sometimes you get the third day.
People are really getting tired of your fucking whoopee cushion, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same joke
It's
every
the
time.
same joke every goddamn time.
But no, yeah. So it's been awesome. We've been going around the nation, and sometimes we get some free time. My favorite things has been riding around in e-bikes through the cities.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. You get to see so much of the city that way, and then watch like.
Is it really better than the scooters? The bikes?
Yeah. Especially, it's just safer.
All right.
It's just safer. Yeah. I mean, the scooters.
If you fuck up, you're gonna pay for it.
I've heard some really, really bad stories.
Well, Josh was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. They were gonna go see a basketball game out, I think, in the Bay Area. I think they were going to like a Warriors. Was it here? Oh, it was Staples
No,
Center.
they were watching a Lakers game.
So yeah, okay. So they were on the way to Staples Center, and he ate shit, and he had to go to their clinic, and it was just blood everywhere. And the fucking guy, in our recent trip to Hawaii, he would refuse to get on a scooter because he has trauma from it.
Fuck.
A little
That
bitch.
sucks.
Jeez.
No, I'll definitely scoot. I scooted like when I in Colorado. In Colorado, I went to the Dodgers. It was the Dodgers versus Rockies.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And that was so much fun. But my hotel that I was staying at was in downtown, so I don't know. It was like I don't know how many blocks, but Colorado's not huge.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, it was 5-minute drive, or you could scoot for 5 minutes, and it was so much fun. That was a lot of fun, and it was 12 o'clock at night, so
Oh, nobody's on the road.
nobody's on the road.
Oh yeah, we did that in San Diego, where we were just kind of scootering around
Yeah,
in the middle of the night.
That's
It
the
was
best.
Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. But then the bikes, just man, in Minneapolis, I was able to cover 10 miles, and so I saw like 4 lakes, all kinds of rivers. There's just like bridges everywhere, so you're just going over all these bridges.
Speaking of, earlier you were waxing poetic a little bit about your experience in Nashville. So you
Get out there. You have to get out there.
yeah. So
Nashville's fun.
Nashville's pretty dope. I mean, I've always considered it to be one of the major music capitals of the United States. I mean, of course, it's mostly Americana kind of music, but nonetheless, there's a booming fucking industry that's been going on for decades there.
Yeah.
But it's infiltrated the culture. I've always pictured. I've never been, but I've always pictured it as a very modern, very culture-esque kind of city, right?
Yeah. So, and all that, you were right. The one thing that I was never prepared for was that when you hit Broadway, it's only like a quarter mile, but there's hundreds of restaurants in that quarter mile.
Yeah.
Everything's like 3 stories.
Oh, okay.
So every story has a
build up.
different restaurant.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And at each restaurant, there is a live stage.
Oh,
And there is a musician. And I'm talking about talented.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were getting some good stuff. So,
very cool.
and every restaurant has a musician on at all times. So it's amazing. It was just an amazing experience. It's loud, but it's also wholesome. Like you said, very country and
Yeah.
middle America. It was awesome. It was beautiful. Yeah, it's a good city. It's a good city.
The recording studios are always top notch there too. I hear.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do much of that. We did do the Country Music Museum and Johnny Cash, and that was awesome. Like all that was awesome. The Country Music Museum was really, really cool.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. Have you ever been to like New Orleans?
I haven't been to New Orleans yet. I was in Miami earlier this year, and that was cool. Puerto Rico, a lot of Texas.
So what do you do at these like places? Obviously you're working, but what's been one of the more notable events that you've had to do audiovisual stuff for?
So these events are the same exact thing. It was a program developed by our client, and we're just executing it at this point. And it's a training
All right.
for physicians, so they get certified and make more money and be better trained. The whole thing is they want to standardize all these things. So
you're just a road
So
show
they're
for them.
So yeah, exactly. I'm just a roadshow for them, and we're helping them develop it because it's always developing. The program's always developing as they get better.
You should throw in like a Tupac hologram explaining everything. That'd be
So we
sick.
have something similar. I mean, we have iPads. We have 30 iPads.
That's not a Tupac hologram, Ollie.
but we're close to it. I mean, like it's very
I
interactive.
don't see where you can make the jump from a few iPads to a Tupac hologram. Where are you going with this? Am I missing something?
You're just not using your imagination.
You gotta use your imagination with yeah. You throw some VR goggles on with that iPad and you're set. That's all I'm saying. You throw some goggles on with that iPad and next thing you know you have a virtual reality show.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, so it's really close. Yeah, because the whole thing, this is what I was alluding to with this beautiful laptop that you have over here, is that
Yeah, thank you.
you make it as once you have a starting point, like a base, where everything's communicating to, they can carry all that communication.
Right.
That's what carries the most energy is the communication. How
Right.
many times am I talking to each other? Whereas, and so once you have that set up, like for us with the iPads, once those are there, now you could add any accessory that you want and have whatever event that you want.
Okay.
And then you could just get crazy, and at that point, it's just a matter of money. And
So the only reason there's no Tupac hologram is because you don't want to.
exactly. Yeah.
Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah.
That's exactly
It's
what he
very
just said. He
doable.
just said it. You can
very
rewind the
doable.
tape.
That and time scheduling. Like we added a few things.
Well, is Tupac
midway.
not available?
Oh, wow.
We added a few things midway, and I gotta tell you that like because it's all about logistics and making it worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't lose money, right? So there is limits and all that. So yeah, like for something like that, I'm saying because
These are physicians.
I've done the hologram. I know what you're talking about. That takes like 2 weeks
Okay.
to set up. Yeah, it's quite a process. But even just like a VR system, it would still take us a couple of days. But once we have it all set up, I could totally see that happening. That's actually a wonderful idea.
Yeah, instead of having a boring physician in a lab coat talking, you can have Tupac.
I gotta tell you, they've done a phenomenal job with these doctors. These doctors are like good at what they do. They like it, and so they bring it, and they know how to bring like the audience in.
Oh, good.
And they're
Okay.
really
So
smart
the
in all that.
presenters too.
Yeah, it's been
They
really
took a
good. It's been
Toastmasters
really
class.
good. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, yeah. They're
good.
They're top of their class type of thing. So they really bring it. It's funny.
Cool.
It's funny how like they have like these people like flock to them after these events with these questions, and they want to hang out with them and just find out more and this and that. It's very.
I love that. I love a good science and medical communicator, like your Bill Nye's or your
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's that just make it exciting for you to learn something like that.
No, because
Right.
I've been to like several different conferences with all those health professionals, and it's so boring.
Boring as fuck.
So having a good presenter
Right.
that actually attracts people
And-
for questions, that's amazing to
And
hear.
so that's why this one's a little bit different because we do assist with all that, only because this is a tour type. So we're seeing these doctors and they know us, and there's a lot like we're comfortable with each other. Whereas if you're doing a one-off show, you can't really tell this person that you've never met, like, hey, like you're really, really monotone, you're boring. We need you to like pump it up.
Right.
That's not gonna fly. So over here, we now since we're all familiar, we've been traveling all year. You're able to kind of be like, hey, what if you tried this?
Give
or
notes.
what if we did that? Yeah. And vice versa. They tell us what's working and what's not working for them. And so now all that helps. All that feedback, all that adjusting, all that helps.
Yeah, it does.
Whereas, I know what you're talking about. You show up to these and the guy is
It's
just
just a snore fest.
They're just reading off the PowerPoint.
I've done like engineer conferences,
Ugh.
like audio engineer conferences, and they're talking about just numbers, and people are getting all excited about it, like clapping, and it's like, what are you clapping about? He said 9.58, and everybody's like, did you hear that? And it's like, no, we don't know how that means. But
Fucking fainting in the aisles.
This lady has the vapors.
Yeah. Clutching at her pearls because, the 0.5.
Oh man,
this and that.
we just gained another frequency.
What? Fucking literally heads explode.
It's statistically significant.
Oh my God.
But if you're paying attention, like they're talking about, in certain aspects, like the future of shit.
Okay.
And you're like, oh fuck, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but like, tell us more about the overall big picture, not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
statistic.
No, not these guys.
They go into it.
They're going into it. Yeah, they're in that world.
Oh, jeez.
It'd be trippy to find out that some of these guys see like they just look at you and they're like the whole Matrix thing, you know? They're just seeing numbers and shit.
hell
That'd
no.
be fucking crazy.
That's an android, and you need to get away from that guy.
Yeah, we've been watching way too much sci-fi in here lately.
Oh, for real.
I've met the talking robot. Wow, what's her name? Celia.
Yeah?
Celia. Yeah, I've met her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a picture of that on the website, the company website, of me. Like, I took a picture with her, and when I was there, we did a little interaction thing. It was trippy.
Did you ask her out?
I did, and she turned me down.
She said no?
It wouldn't work. Yeah, something about having a cold heart or whatever. I don't know.
Yes.
It needs to be just a little warmer than hers for it to work. These prerequisites from these robots are ridiculous, dude.
They're getting out of line now. Dude.
Telling me, man. Telling me. All right. Well, hey, man, it's good to see you again. That you're walking. It's nice to see you up and about, and knowing that you're traveling the freaking country. That's crazy, and that you're busy. You know, that's good. That's good that you're thriving in that industry right now. So
yeah, I've been very fortunate. I think since last time I was here, I was waiting to take a second MRI, and essentially once that happened, my second MRI and the doctor. So during this whole process, I've walked into 2 doctors' offices and spoken to them, and both of them started off the sentence with like, I can't believe it, but you don't have a broken bone. And then the last MRI was, you don't have any nerve damage or ligament damage. Everything healed properly.
Well, and let's revisit it, because the picture that you showed me was that, okay, so rewind. Ollie, you fall off a mountain.
Right.
You stayed the night at the bottom of said mountain because the rescue team.
at the top of the mountain.
Oh, okay, you're at the top of the mountain.
That's why
wherever you were. You had to spend the night
Right.
in the rain.
Yes.
To wait for a rescue team to come get you.
Correct.
And it was like the scene out of Getting Homer out of the gorge, where he keeps fucking up,
So
and they drop you again.
So my cousin,
Right?
I went to go visit my cousin in Miami while I was in Miami. And we're talking. We haven't caught up. She lives in Miami, so we're catching up on all this. And I tell her, "Oh, you have it," because she had a beautiful TV right outside, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "I was like, oh, it's connected to the internet." I put the YouTube.
You put that episode
and I put
on?
our episode right on. Yeah, the episode I was here.
Oh, okay,
explaining it, telling it. And when the freaking video of Homer falling off the freaking cliff rolled, she fucking lost her shit, bro. She 100% lost her shit. She thought that was the funniest thing. She was like, "You fucking idiot. That's exactly what it looked like." Sounded like. And I was
Pretty
like,
much.
Oh, my God.
Pretty much.
She loved it. She loved it. And the weirdest thing was, I hadn't seen it. Like, I had heard, like, when you first aired it, I heard it.
You listened
but
to the audio.
Yeah, I listened to the audio.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching it. I'm like, "You motherfucker." Because it was
You
so
see, we
funny.
bring something special
It
to
was
the
so
video
funny.
component. For those who don't check us out on Instagram or YouTube or even Facebook now, the video is up there, man.
Oh,
Sometimes there's some cool
time.
stuff.
We had such a great time. It was
Yeah.
funny. But no, yeah. So that happened, and when I took my first MRI, because of all the swelling, it looked like it was going to be serious. You might have to have knee
They had to
surgery and this and
fillet
that.
your shins, right? To let all the swelling kind of swell out.
And that's what saved my leg, and that's what saved everything, and why I'm able to walk away with very minimal circumstances.
So did it?
It's because the doctors,
did
the
you break
surgeons did
skin?
an amazing time.
Or was it just all swollen and internal bleeding, and it ballooned your whole leg, right?
Correct.
Jesus Christ!
So there was.
So they
no-
had to do the cut me Mick to your leg, so that you can see during the fight.
But they had to do it in a specific way, because in that area of the leg there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of nerves, because they're all coming from your foot and all that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, all credit to the incredible surgeons in Hawaii. Like, because I feel like that's what saved everything, was that they did such a great job that. Yeah, like I said, for having that experience of walking in and expecting like, hey, you're gonna have to have surgery, or because that's what they told me. They're like, yeah, based on your first MRI, you're fucked. And I'm like, oh shit.
That's not something you want to hear.
Yeah. So and then I could feel the pain, right? But I was already feeling better, so I had to do a shout out to my boy Munchichi. because he helped me.
Munchichi?
He helped
Got
me
it.
with all the PT.
Okay.
He was giving me like the exercises that I should be doing. One of the key ones that I feel like might have helped out a lot was walking on grass barefoot and all that, and just doing laps. And because at first, essentially, my foot was just a stone, and it would just hurt so much. But yeah, I just kept recovering. I knew I had work coming up, so it was like I needed.
That was the carrot at the end of the stick, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I did everything that I could to get better during that process. Because the way he was explaining it too is that you don't want to start from zero. When you get to PT,
right?
To actual PT, which I was doing for 3 months.
Yeah, because you've atrophied by then.
Yeah, by that time he said you should be like at 50, and then they'll get you, or higher if you can, whatever. But get to like a higher, 50%, and then they'll guide you through the rest. And so with that was the program that we set forward, and we did it. Like, I don't know, I feel very fortunate. Like I said, I feel a lot of things went in my way in a bad situation. And yeah, so now since June, I've been just going. The first 2 months were brutal, but they knew what was going on, and I wanted to do it.
How much of that were you bedridden? Like you were just in the laying down, couldn't do anything.
A solid month of nothing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I couldn't nothing, and then 2 months of moving around, but like not really. Because the first month, there was just an open wound, and it just hurt. Like anything, any air, everything just hurt. That is by far the worst pain, was the changing of the gauzes every day, every other day.
And what would happen, because obviously they had to do that because the entire thing was so swollen, they had to let some stuff, do their thing to come out.
Right.
What was coming out? It wasn't blood, was it? Or was it just like liquid or old blood that it was bleeding in there?
My understanding is
a combination of all
pus.
that?
It's pus,
It's
right?
all
Like,
pus.
it's trying to heal, but you don't want it to heal because the swelling has to go down.
Right.
So, yeah, so to prevent the healing, they would essentially collect all that pus and then tear it out.
Right.
With the
gauze.
gauze. Yeah. And yeah, there was just no simple way. And then I opted out of the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Only because the weirdest shit was he told me that I'm in a year from now when I'm fully healed, I might have to come back for like a nip. And I was like, what
nip?
the fuck? Yeah, exactly. I was
What does that mean?
Like he was gonna have to come back and cut a piece out of the plastic because he said it'll feel flappy. Because you'll have excess skin because it'll grow underneath the plastic.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, you'd come in and I'd clean that up and nip it up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that did not sound
Just haven't
good.
put it in your ass.
Like a butt implant?
Yeah, like
butt
that Brazilian butt lift, dude. Imagine. It's like, dang, Ollie.
Don't let that skin go to waste.
Ollie's got back, dude. He's like, I got healed up and I got a new ass out of it, too.
Damn.
Fuck.
Oh, man. But it was all timing, man. Once it healed, once it closed, it's been like smooth sailing since then,
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's good. It's been good.
That's crazy, man. See, you can go from almost giving us COVID to almost dying, and then this whole recovery journey is it's crazy, man. A lot can happen in 9 months, 11 months.
Now come the holidays, and time to celebrate and
Yeah, and you've been
family.
working so much that you can afford to take some time off.
Yes,
Yeah.
thankfully, yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know about afford, but there's sacrifices need to be made.
No, of course, of course. There's no free lunch.
I'm glad your leg is healing up well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I guess the next time you come on, if there hasn't been a holographic Tupac in your presentations, I don't want to hear it. You're like, I need video. I need to be there. You need to fly me out. We need to do a podcast right then and there.
Yeah, man. Destination podcast would be fun.
Yeah, those are always nice.
That's what I was going to ask you about. You playing? Are you allowed to stream any of this?
What do you mean?
Like, would you be able to stream your band playing at these locations?
Probably. Yeah, we would just need the proper equipment to.
You
to
have it
mic
right here.
No,
I'm looking at it.
I get that. No, we've done it. I've had the band play in here, and then we've we've put it live. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'm asking like the bars would be cool with it. Like how would that work?
Oh yeah, I guess we would have to ask the bar if that's cool. You know, because it's there.
Because like for the reason is because like yesterday I definitely wanted to hear some music and stuff.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to stay home.
Right.
So had you been like, yeah, we'll
a lot
be
of
at
people
this
took
link,
that opportunity.
I might have. Yeah.
No, well, and you were watching the fight too.
Yeah.
Was it a good fight?
Yeah, it was all right. It was good. Yeah. KO'd him.
Yeah.
You know,
It's boxing, modern day boxing. It's as exciting as it's
it was
gonna
something
be.
to watch while I was home, man. It was
Okay.
good.
Canelo keeps beating it up, man.
Canelo, yeah, that was the big thing was that he's like unified, whatever, blah blah blah.
Right.
The other thing is that there was UFC fights last night, and those were actually a little bit more entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
the card was good last night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, sick, man. Well, hey, thanks for being on the show kind of last minute. We were expecting to have our friends Caesar and Sandra on because our friend Sandra is somewhat of a Florence Gump. And so she's seen a lot of artists and celebrities and just gotten into some wacky situations. So I was just going to ask her all kinds of questions. Well, I think we're scheduled to have them on next week. So
she's a what? A Florence?
A Florence Gump?
That's what I heard too. And I'm just like, I was focused on that. I was like, I'm sure he said Florence Gump.
Yeah, Florence Gump. Because she's a lady.
What does that mean?
I'm not going to call her Forrest.
Huh?
Like Forrest Gump?
Huh?
Are you following her?
Oh,
it's Forrest Gump.
Because her life's like a box of chocolate.
You never know what you're gonna get. Christ.
Did you know that modern day chocolate boxes have what's inside them though?
That's for fucks like your brother who bite into all of them.
Oh,
You cut them in half.
there you go. 4 pieces. I've seen it cut into 4.
No, I don't like biting into an already cut in half piece of chocolate. Like, just don't fuck with the chocolate. You know what they are. You know what the shitty ones are. Like, if by experience, if you're gonna find one with like that really shitty lemon or strawberry with coconut, you know which ones they are. Like, just by the shape of them, by now you should know which ones are the truffles, the ones that are rich in sugar and chocolate.
Those are my
Yeah.
favorite.
Dude, those are the best.
Hell yeah.
You already know which ones they are, but sometimes I don't want the whole thing. I just want a little bite.
A little bite.
So that's why cutting it in half works out. Just get a little bite. And then that way you can have more of the chocolate because you have only half the piece.
Nah, get your own damn box next
Oh
time.
my God.
So my bank sends me a free pound from C's every year.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
That's cool.
For Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get that in the mail. It should be coming around the corner.
Damn, they're still shipping it? Wow.
No, they just give you the little code, whatever little.
Oh, the gift
So it's like
certificate.
the certificate.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like, yeah,
nice.
that
So
you
chocolate
walk-
must be melted.
No, you walk in, you go to the
all
store.
beaten up.
That's why it's so cool is that you go to the store and you get whatever you want. It's a pound. So you get the pre-made ones, or you could pick your own. So I've been picking my own for a few years now.
Oh, it's an event for
an
you.
event,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well,
I mean, it's free. You know what I mean? You can't be free. I mean, they got my money.
you just bought yourself some C's candies. Yeah. Here's your money. Now here's how to use it.
Why
How
is
and where do you-
$25 missing from my checking account?
The fuck? You've been had, dude. All right, man. Well, hey, again, we don't plan on having another big show here. This might be like a new format because I'm down with these 1 hour podcasts. They're more digestible, I
Oh,
think.
yes.
It's less of a marathon and a little bit more of a sprint, and I can just shit on everybody at the
There
same
you go.
time.
Who cares?
On tap today, man, we got 2 special guests. Now, one has been on the show a couple of times, but we invited somebody else to come along with him. That's Caesar of the Soaring Blackbirds. Say hi, Caesar.
Hey, how's it going?
And we got Sandra, his lady friend.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for being on the show. Now, Caesar, you've been on the show a couple times for the Soaring Blackbirds, a couple releases that you guys were promoting back then, right?
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, and the most recent time was actually this is the first time you're actually doing it from the actual studio. Prior to you being on the show today in here in this particular room, we had you in the living room. The very first time it was over at the dumpy little office in West Covina, California. We had you on in the living room
The first time.
during a Dodgers playoff game.
Yes.
And in similar fashion, we had you at this particular house in our living room trying to spread out because of COVID.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So, and then we got like filthy drunk.
Yes.
You and Chuck and Mario, you guys brought a tequila bottle. Is that right?
Yes.
I
It was,
don't remember too much.
I think it was a Rocks tequila bottle, right?
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It was awesome because it was really easy to
Very smooth,
drink.
dangerous. Yeah.
So super dangerous, and I think all of us were at least buzzing by the end of that podcast.
That was a long podcast. I think it was like 2 hours, right?
Couldn't get you to shut up. Oh, well, Chuck always chimed in with something.
yeah.
It was always fun. But the reason, and Sandra, you've been like around us while we've been recording a podcast, but you were like on the sidelines, just kind of checking it all out. This is the first time you're actually making an actual appearance on the show for a really cool reason. And we can thank Caesar for this, but he claims that you're a Forrest Gump of sorts, that you get yourself into these cool situations where you like these cool like celebrity encounters. I don't know. Like, where should we start here, Caesar? Because what was it? It must have been maybe a month ago. It's close to it. A month ago,
Yeah.
we were playing a show outside of some bar. I think the Fallen Electric was playing a show. You guys went to go see us play, and then you just started talking about how all these crazy celebrity encounters that she gets herself into
That's right.
throughout the years. And you're just like, you should put her on the show and we could talk about it. Now you started talking about some of those stories at some point, and then she had to cut you off because she just you wanted to go home, I think.
Yeah,
I
it was
think we-
pretty late. We're going on and on.
I think
Yeah.
we closed down the bar. They wanted to leave.
Right. So I mean, where should we start there, Caesar?
Well, most of these stories, I mean, we weren't together back then. I think one or two happened after we met.
Yeah.
After 1997, we've been together for a long time. But I don't know. Where do you want to start? I think one of the Rage Against the Machine. That one's pretty good because
Rage Against
I
the
think
Machine.
they used to.
Oh yeah, just no big deal. You were hanging out with Rage Against the Machine, and
Well, no.
what was the year?
It was even prior to when they even became big.
So early 90s or late 80s?
No, early 90s. So what happened is that, you know, at Zach De La Rocha, they used to have their studio there in Highland Park.
Sure.
I don't know if he still has it there, but he used to have it there. And my friend back then, they used to live down that same street. So there's a movie theater called the Highland that's right up that on Figueroa or York or wherever.
Okay.
We used to go watch movies. That one night, we all walked to that movie theater and we passed, because that studio where he has it, it's in the corner. So we had all passed by and they were giving like little flyers out to, oh, come watch this show. There's going to be a band practicing and we're just going to have a party here. We're like, oh, well, we got to go watch our movie. I don't even know what movie we went to go watch, but we went to the movie. And then after the movie came out, I mean, we passed by there again. The guy goes, hey, you know, the music's about to start, whatever.
All right.
Went in there, checked out the band, and it ended up being Rage Against the Machine. It was Zach De La Rocha.
Were they called that at that
I
time?
don't remember them being called that, but when they gave us a demo CD, it did say Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it was.
right.
And so then
You know, legend has it that they only really played one show before they got signed by Sony.
yeah,
Is that right?
I don't know exactly, but
That's and I guess and you know, I've seen video of them playing like some university campus. So and other like little, and their very, very first show was in front of like a family in the living room is what
Yeah.
I'm told. So I guess, you know, when they say that they've only played one show, probably like a big stage show before they actually
Yeah.
got big with Sony.
yeah. But what ended up being cool after that is because then a few months later, they got really
blew
big.
up.
They blew up.
Yeah.
And on that demo, they had Zach. You know, you can tell his look by his hair and all that. And we're like, oh shit, it's
him.
this is Rage Against the Machine. And then, lo and behold, there you go. That was my first Rage Against the Machine show.
And what kind of venue was this in?
It was just, it was in a studio. Just imagine like
Okay.
a big warehouse
Uh-huh.
looking place. And they had like a little stage there. They there was a kegger of beer in the corner and just a bunch
Sick.
of people just watching them play these songs.
Yeah.
What songs? I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember what songs they were.
Probably the songs in the first album, I can
Probably,
imagine.
yeah.
I mean, they also had other demo songs that never got to any album.
Yeah.
They just became like extras or on the B-side at later times. But that's dope.
Yeah, and then from what I heard after that, I don't know if his studio, if that practice that he had is still there, but I remember a lot of people used to go down there and visit it all the time.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still there. Or
Question.
I know he lived there.
Where's that demo? Doesn't your brother have it?
Even if he has it, I don't
Or
even know
it's
where.
somewhere,
he-
right?
It might be somewhere.
Okay.
You gotta
All
look
right.
for it.
It's somewhere.
Well, that's one. That's one cool encounter. What else you got? I know that you've met what's his name, Jenkins from Third Eye
Oh,
Blind. That's your favorite band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Third Eye Blind.
She's got the tattoo, right? With
Yeah,
lyrics.
that's
And the shirt,
that's
right? Ironically,
yeah. If I
the
couldn't
shirt.
be with Caesar, that's the man I would marry. Caesar knows well that if I came across, and that's why one time we went to go see them in Vegas, and I just happened to run into him in the elevator, and I said, "Oh my God, I would marry you." When I was younger, I used to say that my name was Sandra Jenkins and all this.
How did he take that?
The first thing that came out of his mouth was like, well, we're in the right city for that matter. So I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, wait, okay, Caesar's upstairs. Stephen Jenkins is right here in this elevator.
It's a tough choice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sorry, Caesar. I would have to.
Everyone has their own crushes, right?
I would have to go that way.
Right.
Which I know you guys always play the Third Eye Blind, which makes me really happy when you guys play it.
Oh yeah, we play Jumper when we play live.
Yeah.
So that's always a fun one to play. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were bragging about a bunch of other stuff that she's gotten herself into, a bunch of other shenanigans.
Well, I think one of the cool ones would be
Vince Vaughn.
No.
What?
Vince
Vaughn,
yeah,
yeah.
Vince Vaughn.
At
See,
the-
he was with me for this.
Yeah, that we were together then. It was at I don't know if you remember this venue. It was in Los Angeles called The Garage.
Okay.
A lot of cool rock and roll bands used to play there. We used to go there like once or twice a month. And then there's one time we went to go see our friends they're called the Hellbenders. And they're not around no more. But we didn't know that it was kind of like a private party. You could take it away from me.
Well, there's a
So
Kiss.
you weren't invited?
Well, we went because
Because our friends were playing.
Okay.
they were
Okay.
playing
Okay.
it. So we were in that sense invited.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that the main band that was playing, it was a band called Larger Than Life. It was a Kiss tribute band.
Okay.
But from what I've known, a lot of celebrities are a big fan of this tribute cover band. So the show was put on by Jon Favreau.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he had just finished
Swingers.
filming Swingers.
Yeah.
And I think Vince Vaughn was there too. And he had just finished what? Psycho?
Oh. Okay.
Time.
Mid-90s.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they were just, both of them were like crazy drunk in there dancing around.
That's the Psycho with Anne Heche.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
You get to see her butthole in that movie.
Oh, when she falls
When she
over the
falls
tub.
in the tub. Yeah. There's like if
a
you
good
if you
ending.
freeze the frame, that's like her chocolate starfish is right there
Well, I never,
on display.
yeah, well, I never froze that frame there, but
There you go. Next time you watch the movie.
Doesn't
have to
need to
watch
be
it
frozen
again.
there.
yeah. So then,
Just saying.
I ended up meeting him because he ended up dropping his drink
He
all
spilled
over
the
me.
drink on her.
Vince Vaughn did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was drunk and spilled the drink on her.
Is he a sloppy drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks
Yeah.
like he's a big guy
Yeah.
too. He's like 6 foot something, like
Yeah.
6'5" or something.
Yeah. He was pretty tall. But yeah, he was like so apologetic. He ended up buying me another drink or whatever. And so
She was gonna go off on him because initially she didn't know who he was.
And Swingers
then-
sucked.
And then when she saw his face, oh, it's Vince Vaughn. you know?
Yeah.
And but going back to the band, Larger Than Life,
Uh-huh.
it was what's the PC correct term?
Little people?
Little people. Yeah, it was little people.
Yeah.
It was little Kiss people. Larger, they have big boots, you know.
Okay.
And the lead singer, Paul Stanley, if you will, was a black dude.
Okay.
You know, it looked kind of cute. It was kind of funny. It was so cool.
They're like a Polly Pocket version of
they had
Kiss.
this loud sound, man. These little guys with big boots, you know, and shaking the ass.
They're really good.
They're very good, larger than life. Yeah.
Nice. Do you think they're still around or nah?
I know they're
What year was it? 90?
mid-90s.
Mid-90s.
90s.
Maybe not.
I'm
I don't
sure-
think little people live that long. Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know what their
I
span is.
think
a good
I don't
question.
think they live long.
Yeah.
I don't think they live long. I think Brad Williams is on his way out.
What?
Look at Mini Me. He just passed.
that's right.
And then the Kid Rock.
Yeah, Joe C.
Oh, yeah.
Joe C. Yeah. Get my name from him. Yeah, he didn't last too long. So, yeah, maybe they're all 6 feet under now.
Yeah.
They're not larger
Wow.
than life anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. These jokes are just rolling right out.
Yep. All right. So larger than life.
Larger than life in another world.
Right.
I think they're on social media somewhere. If you look
They
for
might
them,
be.
yeah. They're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Maybe it's a new batch.
Yeah. The best
Franchise it.
Yeah.
the best Kiss cover band ever. And I've seen quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. A lot of cover bands or tribute bands are often better than the actual band themselves,
Right.
Because they study every little thing about them. The better tribute bands I've seen are those that are dedicated to the Beatles, and they really go all out and they get down to the smallest detail, even.
Right.
Even as far as going like in 1960 something, they played this show and this microphone was on this part of the speaker.
Right.
They go like that far and they really try to recreate the moment.
Now, are you talking about the band you guys opened up for in Ontario? 'Cause
That's
they seem-
one of
they
a few
seem
that I've
pretty
seen.
legit, yeah.
I've seen the Fab Four. I've seen the Fab Four. It's another tribute band. And then Hard Day's Night is the one that we opened up for here in Ontario.
Yeah.
So there's been a few that I've seen. This was the only time I wasn't drunk off my ass. All the other times I've been pretty drunk because there's this place by the beach. It's like the sushi. It's the most random kind of restaurant. Like they have sushi, but they make omelets for the morning and all you can drink mimosas.
Sounds good.
And I forget the name of this place. I don't even know if they still do it anymore. COVID probably killed that. But I went a couple times and I'm like, just leave the freaking mimosa dispenser right here. And I was just, by the time, they play their second set, because they do like a wardrobe change in between sets because of the many eras that they had.
Yeah.
I was already drunk. That's the end of my story.
That helps sometimes. You're a little bit buzzed, it seems more than what it is.
Speaking of, what are we drinking here? Let's point this out. This is very, very tasty.
A little Baron Jaeger.
Baron Jaeger. It's honey Jaeger.
All right.
Honey
Yeah, so it's
Jaeger.
good for
Put it on my waffles.
waffles.
Damn.
Ice cream.
You're sick.
It's a little runny for waffles.
There's another one that I think that is made by Jägermeister. It's not this one, right?
No. I don't
No,
think so.
Jägermeister has its own honey flavor, and you know how viscous Jägermeister is. It's not as runny, and that's something you can put on your waffles. And it tastes nothing like Jägermeister. I don't want to scare you away from it if you're not. Oh, you have a chilling station at your
We
home.
do. We
Yeah, I've
do.
seen it. I don't think I've partaken.
No.
I need to go over and
Partake in it.
just get all kinds of shit housed. I've been saying shit housed a lot lately.
Shit housed. Where did you last hear that word?
It might have been the 90s.
Oh, okay. Shit
It
housed.
might have been like Don't Be a Menace or something. I don't know.
It's like the version of Brick House. but
Yeah.
Shit house.
house.
Like a
Blind
shit house.
You can have shit.
Not
Well,
just shit faced.
Well, you know,
entire house
I
gets
think
shit.
starting actually in November, Jaeger brings out another. I don't know if you've ever tasted. It's a cinnamon vanilla.
A word.
Yeah, and that one's really good. It's seasonal every November and December.
So it's like a horchata.
Yeah.
then. Okay.
But it still has a little bit of that, because Jaeger has that
Yeah. yeah.
taste. But it's cinnamon and I think it's cinnamon vanilla.
Yeah, you can probably pair it with the LaCroix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another liqueur. We got into fucking alcohol here, but we another liqueur that we recently enjoyed at a KBBQ spot was a grape flavored. What was it?
Soju?
Soju.
No.
It
not
tastes
the grape-
exactly.
Nope. Nope.
Tastes exactly like Jägermeister.
It is.
So I don't know why you would.
It is not a
but
great
it
flavor.
exists. Yeah.
I like soju. I like the peach, the lychee.
What's soju?
It's like a wine, right?
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Korean.
We had
beverage.
a great seltzer from I&I. It was so good. It's dangerous. It's like Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you
Oh,
had
nice.
at Strum also. You had that fruity pebble drink.
Oh yeah, it tastes like Fruity Pebbles. It's like a beer that tastes like Fruity Pebbles. It was weird. Well, it was good. I enjoyed it. Anyway, we got off the rails there, but I don't know, man. What makes you get into these kinds of situations, Sandra? Are you just fearless?
I have no idea. I might be. I don't know. No, you know what? It's I guess.
You seize the moment.
Right time.
Right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like when you encounter these, I mean, obviously 2 out of those 3, they encountered you in a way.
Yeah.
You were stuck in an elevator with the other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess it just it randomly happens. It's like now. I mean, if something was to happen, I mean, you can talk about it because I think it happened with such cool people.
Yeah.
That we respect now. Like another incident.
Sublime.
The Sublime.
What?
With
The original lineup?
Yeah, with Bradley Noel. I don't know if you remember the punk shows they used to do up in Glen Helen.
No, I was probably a small child.
I'm sure probably you were, yeah. Because the one that was there when we went in the 90s when Sublime played it with Bradley Noel. And I think it was Guttermouth who was there too. And they're the ones that say break the barricades, and they were talking all this mess about like...
Guttermouth, yeah, I remember. Well, I don't remember, but...
Yeah, they were known for everyone spitting on them when they sang.
Yeah.
When they were... It was gross.
Them and the Addicts, I think, or
Yeah.
the Vandals.
It's
Yeah,
a very
spit
punk
on
rock thing
Yeah.
to do, right?
But we were backstage because of my friend being married to Joe from the Vandals. So that's why we were backstage.
them. Okay. But
But when Guttermouth was playing...
let's just gloss over that, by the way.
Maybe we should get him on the show for you.
Okay.
Sandra, if you're listening. But anyways, we were backstage and Guttermouth was doing their thing out there and they told everybody, oh, you know, there's better beer and food back here in the back and, you know, just creating chaos.
Okay.
Well, all these kids just started breaking the barricades and trying to rush back and everything. And so they locked us. They kind of did a lockdown for us in the back. And so everybody was in the dressing rooms and said, no one come out because all these kids were running amok in the back. And so we happened to be in the same dressing room where Bradley was in.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to go on after Guttermouth.
Okay.
So they went on. And he was worried about something else. And he told me, hey, can you take care of my dog? Which was,
The Dalmatian?
Which was Louis Dog.
The fucking dog that's on the album covers?
The dog himself.
Okay.
So I got to be the dog sitter for Bradley.
For a
Noel.
set.
For a set, yeah. Because I had to, you know, I was
How
able-
was the dog? Was he a cool dog?
He was cool. He was very chill. He was your basic Dalmatian.
Okay.
I mean, at
He's
that
probably down in the ground with Kiss now, right? Or
Probably.
the small Kiss.
and back then I didn't really think, oh my God, this is Bradley's dog.
Yeah.
Because I never thought that he was going to die.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a cool story.
How long after did he pass?
I don't recall. Because he passed away in what, like in the late 90s?
Late 90s, I think. Yeah.
So it might have been just a few years after.
Okay. Fucking drugs, man.
Yeah. But I saw Blind Melon. I saw Shannon Hoon before his last show where he died.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know, he has a documentary. Oh, he does. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
he's the one who filmed it. There's a lot of these types of documentaries coming out where people in the 90s would just have VHSs
Yeah.
and film their lives.
Yeah.
They did that with, what's her name? Punky Brewster.
Oh, yeah.
She had one come out where like all her friends were pretty much like Leonardo DiCaprio, like a young,
Yeah.
you know, teenage Leo and a bunch of all those other celebrities from back then. And somebody else, Batman,
We're talking about earlier, the birthday cake.
one of the Batmen, not Clooney,
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
He has a documentary style
That was pretty
thing
sad.
that he
Yeah,
It's
that's
shot.
pretty sad.
I haven't seen it,
No.
but I hear that it's tough to get through. Let
just,
alone
it's just sad because if you're a fan of his work, to see him like that is just
down in the dumps kind
yeah.
of thing.
It's
Okay.
well, just to see him with that talk through that,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of hard to take in because you see him on all these movies, like he was in The Doors and
Yeah, he was
Tombstone.
Yeah.
He was a badass in Tombstone. He was so like fit and skinny, and now he's not.
One of my favorites is Real Genius. Have you ever seen Real Genius? No. Oh my
Early
God.
80s.
Early 80s.
All right.
Pretty good.
Tight.
Yeah.
So, So Blind Melon.
Blind Melon.
Was that the last show, right? Before he went to New Orleans and
Yeah, that was the show before he went to New Orleans, where he passed away. But he played in L.A. and I forget what venue it was, but that's the venue where he pretty much got arrested after 2 songs because he whipped out his penis and
As you do.
and just started urinating on all the people in the front row.
You know who just did that a couple days ago? Are you guys familiar with Brass Against? They're a all brass cover band that covers like Tool songs and brass. I'm talking like trumpets and trombones and shit like that. The singer, female, forget her name. I don't know how this happened. The only thing I saw online, this happened like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
They played a show. She invites a fan on stage, proceeds to pull down her pants and just pees on his face.
What the fuck?
Not for a couple of seconds. She helps herself to an entire session.
Oh,
It's like a helicopter putting out a forest fire, where she's
just dousing him?
dousing him. I don't know what that had to
Excuse
do.
me, sir. You are too hot.
While they were playing "Wake
a
Up" by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, Rage Against, yeah. Yeah, I saw it on social media a few days ago.
Oh, is that the one you were showing me?
Yeah, it was on social media.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, it's gross, but it sounds like it was
Premeditated.
premeditated. Yeah, because the guy, he goes up there, oh, you're going to piss on my face? All right, go. And,
And
it
she
sounds
does.
like fetish. thing,
Isn't it a
too.
fetish though?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
that's
fetish.
No,
fetish.
totally. But
Yeah.
like, they're in front of like thousands of people.
Yeah. It's
Gross.
I didn't know about them till now, so I guess no.
No, I mean they cover a mean song. Like I think one of my favorite covers that they do is "The Pot" by Tool. Yeah, this is really good. It's really good. Yeah, but I'm like, that caught me off guard. I was like, I would never think that they would do something.
Where are they from?
I have no clue. Probably from here, SoCal. But I don't know.
Wow, that's a warm bath.
Yeah,
Warm bath.
yeah, golden shower there.
Now the rest of the stage smells like piss. Yeah. The rest of the set. Oh, gross.
Yeah, I'm hoping it wasn't like the first song. And there's just a big old puddle right there for like the next 45 minutes.
Gross.
Yeah.
Maybe she downed like a couple jugs of celery juice also. So
Imagine if it was like asparagus.
Oh.
Let's punish this guy.
Or some LaCroix.
Some LaCroix. Yeah.
Can't be that
I
bad.
don't know. It was pretty yellow.
Don't eat it.
yeah. So he did that too. So that's what he
Okay.
did.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Blind
And
Melon.
he got arrested that night. I mean, I think we only saw 3 songs before because he was out of his mind already.
Drugs.
Drugs, yeah. And so he went on there and we didn't even know what he was singing. And he pulled that up. The cops came up, took him off stage, arrested him. And then from what I heard, when they got bailed out, they went to New Orleans and then he had died.
Okay. You know who's cornered the market in busting out a dick on stage is the homeboy from Rammstein. He bust out like this huge dildo, like hooked up to a hose, pretty much, and then he just sprays the crowd with water. It's just water, but it's coming out of his pants, so it looks like.
Didn't Gore used to do that too? With the big penis.
Yeah,
at one
like
point?
the cum, right?
Right, yeah.
No, but it was actual.
No, it wasn't.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like insinuating.
It was like foam though. It was
Marshmallow.
like some
Yeah.
foam that they used,
Oh, okay.
so it did look all
Yeah.
gooey and ooey,
Yeah.
I guess.
Shock Valley, right?
Yeah.
Adult Nickelodeon. That
are
slime
Instead-
isn't
Instead
green.
of green, it's yellow, right?
Those were crazy shows.
It's
I think
an
I went to
off-white.
one Gore show.
Yeah, you did?
What would you say is the color of semen? Is it like a Navajo white or an eggshell or
Off white, maybe? Flat white.
I guess it depends on your diet. No.
Yeah.
It's more like a pearl color.
That's what I was going to
Oh
say,
yeah,
Pearl.
that's where Pearl Jam gets its name.
Well, there you go.
It's Pearl Jam for you. But anyway, Caesar, man, I don't know if you can tell me if you don't want to talk about this. But the reason you kept postponing you being on the show and talking about all this is because you had a medical issue. I'm curious to learn more about it because I would never want to experience what you experienced, which is equivalent to a male having a baby, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been told is childbirth.
Yeah.
Childbirth,
I mean,
right?
and
Contractions.
Contractions. I don't know.
let's not paint a different picture than what it is. But you didn't you didn't have a baby.
No.
Okay.
And I did not produce a stone. Maybe a little bit of sand.
Oh,
for what it's worth.
Okay. Yeah, but you had a kidney stone.
Yeah, I had a kidney stone. It was like 4 millimeters, so they couldn't zap it out. I heard if it's like larger, like 6 or 5, even 5, right? They
Yeah,
can
I
zap
think
it,
larger than 5. They
and
said.
5 they'll zap it. So I had to like wait till
And this happened in the middle of a Halloween party.
Yeah, we were party poopers. We had to leave early, and I told Sandra, like, let's get out of here.
You were in
And,
pain.
we're very, in pain. And we went to the ER, like, was it 12:30 or so?
Like 1 o'clock. in the morning.
One, got out of there like at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And for how many days were you were hurting? Because you still went to work, right? Because you were told that you still had to walk around and stuff.
Yeah, you have to walk around. You can't, like, relax or anything like that. So I went to work, and good thing I work for the courts. So good thing we didn't have a jury going on, because I would have been in much more pain. So I was able to walk around and stuff like that. So I was supposed to take like Norco, I think 3 times a day or whatever, or 4 times. I only took it once before going to sleep. I was just toughing it out.
Yeah. Well, what does that do to you? I mean,
kills
it's
the pain.
It's a painkiller,
Yeah,
but does
it kills the
it
pain.
put you to sleep too? Does
Yeah.
it just make you unenergetic?
they gave you Norco.
All the above, yeah.
Okay.
Initially, they gave me, was it ibuprofen?
Ibuprofen.
Like a small dose. I'm like, this is not. It's
just Advil.
It's not.
Yeah,
shit.
pretty much. It was like a 200 milligram of
200 milligrams.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bring
I take
on
one.
Yeah.
I
the
take a couple of
narcotics.
those.
Yeah, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, we'll give you some Norco. So just be careful, don't drive, all that good stuff."
Okay.
And I took it for 2 nights, and then it, did what it did. And then the 3rd night, I went to sleep, and like 2 hours later, I was like in so much pain, even worse than the first time that I felt the pain. And then usually it takes like 20 minutes or an hour for it to go away. And eventually it did, right? So I went to sleep, and then I woke up the next day, and then no pain. The next day, no pain. So it's like, and then I called the doctor Monday, and then she was like, I guess it's out. But I was waiting for blood and the stone, like the climax, but nothing.
Like a fucking crime scene?
Yeah.
You were waiting for, okay. Yeah, because I hear if you have a stone, in fact, I know somebody else who just passed a kidney stone. You there's blood in your pee.
Yeah, there's blood, and then there's a stone, and then you send it to the lab, and they'll see what's in it, and then they'll tell you, okay, well, here's your diet,
right?
Because there's a lot of misconceptions. They think that it's either lack of water, too much sugar, too much salt, obesity, lack of exercise, or whatever it is.
Do you exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk at least 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, and drink a lot of water. I hardly drink any soda. So, but we're thinking it's probably all the damn sunflower seeds that I was eating during the baseball season. Yeah.
You just create a pile.
Yeah.
It wasn't your
shells?
It wasn't your regular hand.
Right.
It was a half.
It was
a
Ace
bag.
Ventura on the flight to Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was half a bag.
I was filling up those cups with shells of sunflower seeds,
Right.
and then the next
You
one.
might as well be swimming in the sea.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you get pain on the side, the back, and your groin section.
And they couldn't zap it because it wasn't a large enough stone.
Exactly. It has to be, I think, 5 or 6 millimeter.
Uh-huh.
And
I would have greased the technician's palm and just told him to just zap it out of there. But
Right.
they're looking out for your liver now.
exactly.
Like that?
Yeah. They
But
don't-
you've been torturing your liver for years. Why the fuck should you care, Caesar?
Well, they did a scan.
Well, not your liver, your kidney.
My kidney. Yeah. They did a blood test and everything. It is not alcohol. It's nothing like that. So I'm good. I'm back to normal. Thank God.
Okay.
Well, I think because now they also have what they gave him, and I think this would happen because they have a medication now that helps dissolve the stone.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like we're thinking that's what happened with him. That's why we didn't actually see a stone. It kind of turned into, I guess, sand.
Dust.
Like
Yeah.
sand. coming
Yeah,
out.
like sand, if you will. So when I called the doctor, she was like, "Oh yeah, it happens. Most of the time, you won't see the stone, so it's kind of like a normal thing."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So all you guys out there listening, if you get side pain, back pain, groin pain, go to the ER.
It's a stone.
It fucking hurts. Yeah.
It just doesn't hurt. It fucking
It
hurts.
fucking hurts.
Fucking hurts.
Jeez. I can only imagine. I think one of the bigger pains I've ever had myself, just to turn this back around to be about me, has been when I did the one chip challenge on this very podcast. And but this part wasn't on the podcast, where I was curled up into the fetal position on the bathroom floor here, and Steph who also consumed said one chip on the challenge, was also experiencing the pain herself, but in a different way, because I think you had thrown it up, right?
No, I was like dry heaving.
Okay.
And the internet told me to drink a lot of milk and eat bread to try to douse the flames that were coming out of my mouth. It wasn't working. And I just started crying. I was over the kitchen sink.
And
What's left to do then?
I didn't partake in so much of that bread eating. I think we had milkshakes, so I finished my milkshake, but it just didn't sit well with me. And I was really I think I threw it up, which at a certain point I learned that it was the wrong thing to do, because it reintroduces the fucking spice back into your esophagus. And out your mouth. So now you're burning up again, just like you did when you first ate it. And I was just doubled up on,
Does that affect your bowels? Like when you went to the bathroom?
The next day was uncomfortable.
Was it?
I gotta say, yeah.
It was spicy.
I was on a rocket to space.
Spicy Cheeto.
Were you on fire?
Yeah, it was not a good time. Would I do it again? Fuck yeah, I'd do it again. But it's got to be worth it. Maybe you guys would be down. I mean, you said that you took a chip, right? Recently, that same chip.
Yeah, ironically, when we left the party, an hour an hour before, my buddy brought one of those Pocky boxes, and no one wanted to eat one, so we kind of like shared one between three of us. Mm-hmm. And when I went to the ER, I asked the doctor, did it have anything to do with the chip? And they're like, no, there's nothing to do with it. So
okay,
but yeah, it's very hot, dude.
And you had a third of it.
Yeah, 30. You had the whole chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a healthy layer of powder, that chili powder that they put on that chip. Like, it's furry when you look at it.
It doesn't even taste good.
No,
it doesn't even
right?
like.
It's punishment as soon as it hits the surface of your body. You're supposed to handle it with gloves. We didn't have gloves.
So you almost went to the ER, and you're still willing to do it again?
Yeah.
Why?
Probably for clout.
Bragging rights or money or whatever.
Yeah. If we can get sponsored by Pocky, that'd be
there you
sick.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Then you'd have to take one each show you do.
Oh, fuck that. No, I'm not down.
Every year.
But yeah, Caesar, Sander, you guys are good friends of ours, good friends of the show, man. We've gone to a few hockey games with you guys. You guys are big fans of the Dodgers, just like us. And what's cool about you guys, I think, is that you guys even follow their minor league teams too, which is actually pretty cool because of the farming system. So you get to see a lot of the actual players who are in the big leagues, if maybe they're recuperating from an injury or they just they need to train a little bit more on something. Yeah. They'll go there.
And what's cool about that is because we have them right here close to us. I mean,
Rancho,
Cucamonga. Rancho, and then Ontario. Mm-hmm. We have the Kings and the Dodgers right here.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few players. Urias, who else?
Urias started there.
Kershaw.
Kershaw didn't start there, but
he played there, right?
Yeah, he played there to rehab. But we saw before they got up Bellinger, Seager,
yeah,
a lot of those guys.
Yeah,
and then the hockey.
Yeah, the hockey also. Camp, Peterson, yeah.
Those hockey games are always fun.
You guys are invited again. Hockey season is here, so if you guys want to come,
I'm down. I'm down.
Just bring
your jacket,
vaccination card, because they also ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like that? Okay. Yeah, whatever. I got it.
That's fine.
Fun times.
A lot of today's geeking out will encompass the LA Comic Con, but before we get into any of that, I wanted to geek out about the that Get Back special on Disney Plus that I just finished watching today.
The three parts, right?
It's a 3-part docu-series. Peter Jackson directed it. And so it was put together to tell the story of pretty much the last ever live Beatles performance with all 4 of them, plus Billy Preston, when they got on top of that rooftop there in England. And that was the last time they all ever played live together. Of course, this was there's more to that story than probably I've ever known. So the way it was supposed to go down, it was January of 1969. Nice. And they were getting together to play a live show, and it was supposed to be like a live for TV show. And it was supposed to be like this presentation where initially the TV, I guess the live thing was supposed to be them playing the album, the previous album, but no, they said like kind of like in the last minute, let's give ourselves 2 weeks to write a whole new album and play that live.
Who made that request?
I think it was I don't know, it might have been a combination of John and Paul, and then George is kind of funny because in the middle of the whole thing, George walks out. He's like, I'm pissed. And I think it's because a lot of the decision making was coming straight from Paul and John, because those are the two main, as far as we know, those are the guys who drove the Beatles' music.
Right.
However, George Harrison, I think, has always in history been underappreciated. In fact, he's my favorite Beatle because he's the most intricate, more intelligent writing of the three, front guys. But he was always the quiet Beatle, Nobody's more quiet, though, than Ringo. You can't help but love Ringo. One of my favorite parts in the entire 3-part series was Ringo. Okay, so they were sitting, it was Ringo sitting on the floor, and there was other two kind of production guys on either side of him. They were listening to Paul go on this monologue about what direction they should go in and that kind of thing, and in the middle of the whole thing, just completely disregarding what Paul even just said or acknowledging what Paul just said, Ringo just goes, "I've just farted." And I was just going to keep looking at you guys in the eye and just say nothing, but I just felt I had to say, just let you guys know I farted. And the funny part to me was not the fact that he came out and said that and interrupted the entire flow of Paul's monologue, but that nobody even fucking batted an eye. Like the guy next to him, he was just who was down on one knee smoking a cigarette, just kept smoking a cigarette. Paul didn't acknowledge nobody acknowledged what Ringo just said, but he's just fair warning, guys.
It's just Ringo being Ringo.
Everybody played the straight guy in that little bit, in that little 5-second bit. And I couldn't stop laughing. I had to pause it to just laugh because it was so funny, because it just came out of nowhere, in a completely serious moment. And he's just I've just farted.
I wonder if it's one of those things where he does that all the time.
So and just like John always fucks around too on the mic. It's funny because you just watch them create these songs that ended up being in that Let It Be album that later was produced or overproduced by what's his face, who shot that lady, did the Wall of Sound.
Oh, damn it. What is his
fart.
name?
Everybody's screaming at their speakers right now.
What is his name?
Let's see, Wall of Sound. I'm looking this up now.
Oh, my God. What is his name? Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, everybody can stop screaming now.
Yeah, we got it, guys. We got it. Yeah, Phil Spector, he's the guy, he allegedly pulled out a gun on John Lennon in the production of that Let It Be album as well.
You know what? I've heard that story before. That's his go-to thing. He'll
pulls
just
out guns when he's mad at somebody.
Yeah, and then
and he ended up killing somebody once, and now he's in jail. He's in jail.
Didn't work out.
And so anyway, you see these songs get created, like Get Back. That's the one where it's just fucking Paul just noodling around his bass. Dun, 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 and then George joins him, and Ringo, he is one of the least appreciated drummers in the history of rock and roll. Everybody kind of bags on him because, he wrote silly ass songs like Yellow Submarine and Octopus's Garden. These songs that they're so G-rated, they're so basic, but it's part of the Beatles. It has the aura that it's Ringo just being Ringo. And he's probably the most lovable character out of this whole documentary. He doesn't throw a fuss. He just kind of goes with it. And his timekeeping and his drumming is so precise. It's so smooth that I thought that he was very underappreciated in the history of the Beatles. Probably still is. I don't know. Maybe people are turning a turning the page with that, turning a corner with appreciating every single member of the Beatles, because they were all very important in their own ways. I mean, ever since John Lennon, George Harrison, Ringo, and Paul went their separate ways and wrote their own albums, it has never been the same again. Maybe Paul McCartney, maybe when he was with Wings, maybe. But no, I don't think it ever came close. John, maybe?
Maybe?
But there was always Yoko kind of there, just poisoning the well.
Hovering over him like a dark shadow.
Yeah, and she's a big presence in this documentary too. So it was worth the watch. Definitely interesting, especially being a musician and being in that environment pretty regularly, where you're with like three other guys and you're trying to put together this artwork, amongst the three of you, and then you go home and then you come back the next time to rehearse and you're like, I got this idea, here's some lyrics, let's do it, let's put it all together. It's interesting, their process was very similar to that.
So, in your experience, if nobody walked out, do you think they could have gotten all the work done within that 2-week time frame?
They were still, I don't know. Paul was the most optimistic because Paul was the one driving everybody like, all right, guys, let's go. He was kind of like that guy.
Yeah.
And because John would have also been that guy, and he was, but then Yoko was there kind of just interrupting and distracting him like regularly. She was just right there. The rest would have their wives around too, and their lady friends. But they weren't just like sitting with them while they were playing or rehearsing.
Yeah.
Like Yoko was. They were just kind of chilling in the back and toward, against the wall or something. But had George not walked out, I don't know. I think by then they had written only a handful of songs. I think their goal was something like an entire album, which to them, I guess, was around a dozen. Yeah. I think Let It Be ended up being a dozen or so songs. Wow. So, you see them kind of put together Let It Be also, Long and Winding Road, all these songs that have gone down in history as like one of the best albums, collection of songs. And then you get the Phil Spector flavor on that Let It Be album, and then they released Let It Be Naked, and you're just like, God damn, these songs are still good. And you get to hear the Let It Be Naked as they're creating these, because it doesn't have the Phil Spector wall of sound with the violins and the horns and all that shit that he puts on it, like he did with Motown. So, wanted to geek out about that. If you have, a lot of time on your hands, I think this is upwards up to like 6.5 hours, all three, if you just watch them back to back.
Yeah.
But I watched them in doses, in maybe 6 sittings. And the thing was that fucking Peter Jackson was given all of this footage and all of this audio from the span of all of January of 1969, from the second week, I believe, of January to the last day of January, where just all this footage, it was like 60 hours of footage and way more than that of audio. And he had to piece everything together and to end up with, according to, some of the articles written and some interviews that he's had and has given, he's said that, he cut it down to 30 and then he cut it down to like, I don't know, something like 11 or some shit like that. I don't know the exact number that he said. And then he cut it down to a certain number where he's just like, I think, which is what the end product that we got now of 6.5. And he's just like, guys, I can't cut it more, more than this, because all of this is gold. Like, I think at that point he was feeling like, if I cut anything else, people are losing out on a lot of important shit. And
it would almost be doing a disservice to the story.
And this was funded and produced by the John Lennon or Yoko's estate, along with George Harrison's wife and Paul McCartney. He's still alive. And Ringo they all had they had a say in the final product of it. And they said, no, this is good. We'll just chop it up into 3 parts. The first part was like the first couple weeks, and then the next couple weeks, and then the last week, where they actually play the rooftop, and how they got there. I it's awesome because it showed their personalities, and they're all very different people, but they all come together to write some great music. It still goes down in history as some of the great musicians in rock and roll. So check it out. It gets my thumbs up. I don't know. I'd like to hear people's opinions on it. If you guys want to write in or give your opinion too. I'm curious as to if Josh has even watched it by now. Probably not.
Know what? He's pretty on point with everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's at least watched the first
one. Yeah.
part.
But this is like you have to either be a Beatles fan or a musician who appreciates old classic music like that from the 60s. Because there's a lot of repetition. Like they go back to like Get Back. They repeat it. They're rehearsing. They're pretty much rehearsing for a show.
Yeah.
So you have to have like patience with it and an appreciation for what they're trying to accomplish. So if you, I guess what I'm saying is that if you don't like the Beatles or you get bored easily from creating art or watching somebody create art, like a Bob Ross kind of situation, you're going to be bored. You're going to be bored real fast. So I wouldn't expect the Foo to even bother with this because he's not cultured like that.
No.
It's not his vibe.
He'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he'll take my word for it. So,
Right, Foo?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about freaking LA Comic Con, man, because we were there fairly early. You rushed me out of bed and you kicked me out the door and you drove us and our friend Christine over
Our unpaid intern, Christine.
Is that what she is?
She was our unpaid intern for the day.
And so we walked around the Comic Con, and it was a little different this year. Not only was it in December, but aside from that, the layout was different.
Well, okay.
Somewhat from what we're used to.
Let's backtrack because the reason why we got there so early is that we were trying to avoid waiting in line for hours on end trying to get through security because the last year when we went, 2019. Okay. The last time we went.
Yeah.
Christina and I were waiting in line for 3 hours just to get through security because we got there so late. We probably got there, 11 o'clock?
Oh, wow.
Like almost midday.
Okay.
And you guys had the press pass already. You had gone, I think, the day before. Mm-hmm. And Christina and I were going the day after. And we had to go through security. And it was just brutal. We were just waiting in line. We're missing all the panels. So that's why I was like, this year, that's not going to happen. So woke your ass up early. We got there. And there's like parking. Galore. No problem.
Yeah. Within seconds, we just go in and park.
We're only the second person in line to get through security. Badges, check. Just wait for the doors to open. Mm-hmm. We were chilling. And you know what I liked about Comic-Con this year, which I didn't see before, was the bars.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I appreciated that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 8:30 in the morning. Get some drinks. Let's go.
Yeah. That was nice. We got some whiskey and then we fucking hit the bricks with that.
Mm-hmm. We got some great footage that Christine provided for us with some nice commentary with the door opening.
Right.
Because we were on the second floor. Mm-hmm. Waiting for the doors to open. And the first floor was just packed full of people. Cosplayers, press, industry, everybody's there waiting to get in. And I was not about to wait in that crowd. So that's why we were chilling upstairs, having a drink.
Yeah, everybody's not respecting the 6 foot thing anymore, are they?
No, but
everybody's vaccinated though in there.
Right, so you did have to, show proof negative test or vaccine.
And then everybody was wearing a mask.
So they were pretty good about that, and nobody was being like a total douche about it. So it worked out.
Right.
Okay, so we get in there and we're walking around, and like the first part we do, there's a lot of opportunity for photo ops. Mm-hmm. What was the first one we did? There was a Dragon Ball Z background, giant blow up Godzilla.
Yeah, good old Derpy.
Goguru was there.
Yeah, there's a giant Baby Yoda or Grogu.
Yeah.
That was just at the beginning of everything once you walk in.
You got the Kirby was there. The car they had. You can donate to get into the Pizza Planet delivery car.
Yeah.
I think it was like $15 to sit in the front seat. So like they usually have those donations for charities. And the perk is you get to have a photo op inside one of those cars, which I thought that was nice. Walking around the floor, we actually saw a tattoo parlor setup.
That was dope. And you know what, man? I probably would have gotten a tattoo if it wasn't a $200 minimum, because that's the tattoo that I want is just the Stonecutters symbol on my ass, like Homer, or at least make it look like Homer supposedly is a birthmark. It's supposed to be a birthmark, and so it's not really the ass. It's kind of like the hip area, I guess, or the meaty thigh area, I guess. But anyway. And but no, not for $200. I mean, if at that I probably would have just gotten sleeved up, but I wasn't about to drop all that cash.
So I thought the tattoo setup was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but there were no privacy screens, so everybody was just kind of laid out on the table.
Right,
and there was this one.
It's like a hair salon in the middle of the mall.
Right, and there,
everybody can see what's going on here.
There's a table with books of previous tattoos, so just in case you don't have an idea, you can look through it. Oh, I like this tattoo, let me just get this one. Or you can just create your design there.
Right.
And it's just open seating. Some tattoos, depending on the size, like you guys know this, it's going to take a while or it's going to be a few minutes, depending on what you get. And there was just this one guy, and he was just laid out on the table, shirt off, getting tattooed on his belly. And I thought it was pretty interesting because I haven't seen that, I think, at this kind of con before.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I sure as hell have it. This is probably my third visit to LA Comic Con, and this is the first time I see a tattoo. And not only and they were getting customers.
Oh yeah, there was a wait.
It was a wait to for people. It's like, oh shit, okay. I should come prepared next time with a design or something. Just or we can just go to the tattoo expo that's down the street every other
6 months or so.
Yeah, we go check that out. But anyway, man, that was fun. What else did we see?
You know what? I really like the cosplayers. There was a great Doc Ock, and he actually put
there was two really good Doc Ocks that showed up. I liked both of them.
The first one that we saw, he actually had Spider-Man's mask in one of the claws.
Ah, yeah, that was a nice touch. Yeah. At first, I thought it looked like a thong, and I'm just like, all right, Doc Ock got busy. It turned into one of those hentais where literally it's just like octopi tentacles going into every orifice.
Crossover.
Right. And I was like, no, it's just Spidey's mask. But the other one was a much larger, he not only was the guy taller himself, but the actual arms were more, I don't know. They bent in so that it kind of boxed them in a way, caged them in. But they were long and really cool looking. Yeah.
I want to see them battle.
Yeah.
Both Doc Ocks. Multiverse.
You had a lot of multiverse-esque type of other Spider-Man. I saw a lot of noir Spider-Man, which is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a spy versus spy, but with a black Spider-Man mask.
I saw a Captain Spider-Man. So pretty much just Captain America with the Spider-Man mask.
Oh, crazy. Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Same colors.
There was a lot of... No. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
I
saw, there's a lot of that.
Saw a lot of green hair there.
Yep. No, it's the green robe too.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man everywhere.
Of course, you can't not see a Spider-Man.
Surprisingly, there were a lot of Power Rangers. There was a lot of Green Rangers coming out there.
Because Jason was there, man. Yeah, we had the Green Ranger, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, aside from all the cool cosplayers, they got a lot of big names for the panels too. John Leguizamo, the Smallville cast,
SpongeBob,
Tom Kenny, fucking Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Fucking Zachary Levi was there.
Kevin Conroy.
Oh,
Batman.
But yeah, he usually makes an appearance, so he's kind of a staple.
Yeah.
But it's just a treat to know. He's like, in voice production, Vince Scully, number 1 of all time, and then Kevin Conroy.
You're talking about most recognizable.
Most appreciated, most let's protect these people at all costs.
Okay.
Like,
that makes sense.
So I guess Betty White, Vince Scully, Kevin Conroy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No?
Well, you're forgetting one of the greats who we lost a few years ago.
Which is?
Chikrin.
Well, he's dead already.
Well, yeah. But
I'm talking about let's preserve
voices.
the ones we still got.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Chikrin's cool, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I'm just saying.
Maybe right after Kevin Conroy in my books.
Well, it's biased because they're from California. I mean, doing California sports.
But I'm talking about Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's on the list.
All right.
Higher up.
Cool.
He'd be my number 1 though.
All right. Moving on. So what else did we see?
Doesn't appreciate it. Do you hear that?
What else did we see?
We saw. What else did we see? Jesus. Yesterday, you know what? It was such a blur because we were just going aisle by aisle and trying to catch everybody in the main stage and trying to catch the panels. So the way that it was set up, they actually opened up the West Hall for the video games, and in between the South Hall and the West Hall was that corridor with the panels and the photo op section.
Yeah, different rooms for panel opportunities and all that stuff.
And I like the way they set it up because it allowed more space in the main hall compared to previous years where it was only in the South Hall. And it's just packed. It's just way too crowded for the number of people that are there. So expanding it to the West Hall just made it more breathable, made a better Comic-Con experience.
Yeah, and it spread people out too. If they wouldn't have done that to kind of open it up in that way, everybody would have been jam-packed into the main freaking convention area where the main stage is, and it sprouts out from there. Because I've been there a couple of years ago, back then it was before COVID, but it was just that. They didn't have those other wings open, those other panel rooms, and that esports area open. So it would have been way more people than, there was a lot more elbow space, which I appreciated. And speaking of cosplayers, remember Kite Man? We saw Kite Man.
Oh,
nobody ever dresses up as Kite Man, too.
Nobody.
And this guy. So I guess him and his wife. His wife was Poison Ivy, which is appropriate for those who like Harley Quinn, the animated series. But everybody was like, "Oh shit, it's Kite Man," and then
oh yeah.
And you can tell, in real life, the Poison Ivy, his lady friend, wife, whatever, she was kind of getting annoyed, or she was just like, "The fuck, I'm Poison Ivy. I'm supposed to be the one that people care about."
Right, and her costume was nice.
It was good.
It was nice.
It was good.
Poison Ivy, it was a little cold, so she wore the leather jacket, but she looked really good. And
the red hair was nice.
The red hair was nice, and I come up to her. I was like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you and Kite Man?" And her face was just like, "Oh," and she just tugs her guy. She wants a picture, and I was like, "Ah,
Kite Man, hell yeah!"
He said it too.
He said it
in character.
Yeah, hell yeah,
hell yeah.
That was cool.
So
anyway, speaking of those little panel rooms, we went into a panel room which gave us 2 panels in a row because it was with the same production crew of Bat in the Sun.
Yeah.
Bat in the Sun, for those who aren't familiar, and trust me, you likely are, especially if you're a fan of this show, you would probably follow all of these other kinds of things that happen throughout YouTube and shit like that throughout the years. But Bat in the Sun is the same production crew and company that has brought us Superpower Beatdowns. And that's when we saw Batman versus Darth Vader, Predator versus Wolverine, Spider-Man versus Darth Maul, live action duels between two superheroes or major characters that don't necessarily belong in the same universe, in the same DC. It could be a DC versus Marvel character. They've just gone nuts with this, and we've seen copies of this with other production companies. I think most recently I saw like a Hulk versus Superman. I saw a Superman versus, what was it from
Who? From
Invincible, Omega Man? No, that's not Omega Man.
Oh my God, what is his name? Okay,
that guy.
We're gonna.
Well, now Jesus, we're awful.
Omega? No, it's not Omega.
It is.
Oh, something.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It's gonna be Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
Oh man.
Omni-Man, voiced by
and Homelander.
Oh, and Homelander.
And so it's Superman, Omni-Man, and Homelander, and One Punch.
Holy shit! One Punch.
Yeah, and One Punch just beats the shit like he wins because he's One Punch.
He was One Punch Man. He doesn't even have to try.
He's the strongest, at least in this animated video. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Bat in the Sun. Bat in the Sun does the live action ones, and they're fucking badass. Now, in particular, we went in there to watch their latest production called Dying is Easy, which is supposed to be, well, it's not supposed to be, it is like a 22-minute-ish video, not counting credits, a 22-ish minute video of like a small story of Batman figuring out something about the Joker because he supposedly killed these cops.
Right.
Yeah, he captured and killed these cops, but it's like a psychological episode for Batman because what he did to resolve the issue, which, I mean, the Joker already killed these people, but to resolve the main big picture was to bring peace of mind to their families because they hadn't known what had happened to their husbands in the force.
I feel like this short played out beautifully as if it were taken out of the pages of a comic book because I can see this laid out on the page and I can see the struggle that Batman's having, even though you can't see his emotion, you can still feel it.
Right. Well, I think even the acting that happened in just the lower part of the chin,
yes,
I thought was, the way he cringes his teeth is cool. The way he kind of like, his did his embouchure when in reacting to something that the Joker was telling him.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. So anyway, I wanted to read the Indiegogo that went into this, and that's how they make their money for these kinds of productions. It's all crowdfunded. So this doesn't happen if people aren't interested in making shit like this happen. And so they did this episode of Batman, and what this particular page of Indiegogo says, some of our earliest films featured the Dark Knight, so now we want to return to our roots. But this time, with your help, we can create something bigger and better. We want to create a short film featuring Dark Knight and Clown Prince locked in a battle of words that gives an in-depth look at their complex characters. This is something that we have yet to see in live action. And it features Kevin Porter as Batman. He was a good Batman. That guy's tall, too.
Yeah.
He's a tall dude. He's like 6'4" or something.
6'4", pushing 300 pounds. Like,
nah, he's not pushing that hard.
No.
He's like 250-ish.
Okay.
Give or take. Big guy. He's built too.
He looks
he towers over everybody.
He looks like a Batman.
He was there at the panel, and he walked across the down the aisle, and I saw him in person. Tall guy. And then also featuring Aaron Schwenkel. I hope I am not saying that right. Schwenke as the Joker. I thought he made for a decent Joker. He was also one of the producers of the.
He co-directed it with his dad.
Yeah. And so I thought they did a magnificent job. The way they made it all look, the darkness, it was very much like, not only like you said, like the pages out of a comic book, but also like it reminded you a little bit of the animated series.
Yes.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like at least it had the same attitude.
Yeah.
The same vibe.
Because it definitely had that dark color scheme, like you were mentioning. And it just had that Joker craziness that we all have without it being two in a way where like it was just too adult oriented, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like anybody can follow this.
Right.
And it would still be appreciated by all groups.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the suit looks amazing. They did a great job with that. The Batmobile, all that cool stuff. And you know what I appreciated the most out of this is when I took a second look at this episode that they created, the way it's laid out in the script, the way the dialogue takes place, it take away all of the visuals and just give me the audio, and it would make for a really good Batman, like podcast episode.
Oh.
Or like, just a 30-minute, audio only thing. You could still follow. You don't need the visuals, while the visuals really enhance the shit out of it. But the audio itself, because, I think they did a really great job with the music behind it too, which was the director who also did everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I totally agree.
So anyway, this is what they had posted way back when. The stretch goals are, if they get up to $25,000 in funds, their main goal is a short film featuring 2 characters diving into their psychological makeup. And it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. If they earn, or if they raise $30,000, it'll allow us to add other character cameos. If they would have raised $50,000, it would have allowed them to extend the short film and feature more action. $75,000, this accomplishment allows us to extend the film and feature more action and more characters. And then at $100,000 money raised, this amazing accomplishment allows us to add in everything we can possibly dream of: a much longer film, intense action, huge sets, and many more characters. So I believe that they had said that they had reached the $75,000 one.
Yep.
And that's what allowed them to create that 25-ish minute episode.
Right. And like what they were saying with different characters, if you watch the film, you're definitely going to love their rogues gallery. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you who's in it. Just watch it for yourself. You're going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then immediately after, they invited on Jason David Frank.
Woo!
Yeah, for those who don't recognize the name Jason David Frank, he was the Green Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1. Nobody ever, at least as a little child watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, gave us a more in-depth, darker villain than Tommy. Like, he gave us the business for like 2 or 3 episodes.
He was so mean. He was so mean.
But he was under Rita's control, right? And Zed, right?
I thought for sure the Rangers were done. Like, this guy was just going to whoop everybody, and that was going to be that.
Mm-hmm. Nope. This guy gave the Rangers the business for 3 straight episodes.
He's like, psych.
And then he became a good guy, and then he joined the rest of the Rangers. And then he was the White Ranger.
And then he was able to play that flute with his helmet on. Nobody questioned it. It's the magic of TV.
Right.
You just love it.
Nobody gave a fuck, dude. But anyway, the reason that he was on was because in a separate Indiegogo, Bat in the Sun Productions also was able to create this now full feature movie called Legend of the White Dragon, the Power Ranger inspired film story who features and stars Jason David Frank, among some other, and also the guy who played the Batman in the previous thing we just
Kevin Porter,
that we just talked about.
So Bat in the Sun raised $500,000 for this film, which is amazing.
And it is. I mean, it looks great. The Legend of the White Dragon. It's like the suit that he's wearing, I guess, when he's morphed into it. Mm-hmm. It looks like it looks like the Red Ranger in white, as elements of the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. There's a diamond on the top of the helmet, which is also like in between the eyes of the dragon eyes,
reminiscent of the crystals.
Of the crystals.
Remember those?
And then the big diamond also that the Green Ranger wore as the chest shield.
Yeah.
Thing.
What I like about this is that, just like we talked about dying is easy, this also has a darker undertone to it.
It's a very mature Power Rangers.
Yeah. They from what they were saying in the panel, they wanted to get away from the Power Rangers. I mean, it's a Power Rangers movie without being Power Rangers,
Right.
with Putty Patrol, waiting for them to transform.
It takes away the silliness
Yes.
of what the Power Rangers, the
Yeah.
campiness. There's
Yeah.
no campiness anymore to this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Power Rangers were the Adam West 66 Batman. This is the Christian Bale Dark Knight kind of attitude they're
Okay,
shooting
yeah.
for.
I can see that.
Because I think we're past the 80s and 90s Batman, because those are campy too now, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely made for somebody that grew up with the Power Rangers. But also, I feel like if you haven't seen anything of the Power Rangers, you would still enjoy this movie because it looks like it's action-packed. There's a lot of stunt martial arts in it, and the storyline actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, one thing that I liked what they said is that if you just take away the superhero element, it is still a very good story of what the trials and tribulations of the main character. I guess I don't know specifically what the movie's going to be about. We got a taste of it in the trailer that they showed, which was the very first time that Jason had seen it, so he was all excited. He got in the front row.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute. he was like a little kid and like excited to see something for the very first time.
And this is the debut of his daughter. This is her first acting gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in there playing his daughter.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, man. So apparently this particular project began in 2019 as a Kickstarter campaign with a short teaser release to promote the campaign. It was a very basic teaser, which just kind of gave you a picture of the helmet and then the logo. And by April 2020, Kickstarter reached its initial goal of $100,000 to produce Legend of the White Dragon as a miniseries. Later in May, the campaign reached ultimate stretch of $500,000, solidifying Legend of the White Dragon for a feature film release. So this follows the titular White Dragon, played by Frank. He isn't the only Power Rangers alum, by the way, making a return to this type of storytelling. Jason Font, Power Rangers Time Force, and Sierra Hanna, Power Rangers Mega Force, are also involved with the project as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Nice. Reprise the role.
It also stars Mei Ling from Suicide Squad, King Batch of Greenland, and Mark DeCassos of John Wick 3. So there's going to be a lot of people who are very familiar with how to make an action movie or action scenes and sequences.
King Batch is the comic relief, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. He was in the trailer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was like a hologram,
Yeah.
right, in the trailer.
I want to see what that's all about. So the trailer's out. I think they said they were releasing it today or Monday. I don't know. It will be out there if it's not already out there. Go check it out.
There's a lot of Power Ranger similarities from the costumes to the premise. I guess the premise is somewhat similar to the Power Rangers. It might have to do with some kind of Zordon looking motherfucker. I don't know.
We'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see. So they're not even done filming it. They have a few more days of filming.
Yeah.
And then
I can imagine there's a lot of CGI though that they need to work on before this thing gets released.
Yeah. But from what we got in the trailer already, just oh my god, looks so good.
What do you think? You think they're gonna go rated R with this? They can do whatever they want, right?
They can.
They want to be true to the attitude that they want to portray.
I can see it going rated R with just the violence and gore alone. If they're gonna do it that way.
Right.
Otherwise, PG would work too on a darker tone, but
that's not happening. They've said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean,
it's
Jason
gonna have to
David
be-
Frank, he said that he's excited for playing this more mature role. He's not Tommy Oliver by any stretch of the
No.
imagination. This guy's name's going to be Eric Reed. He says, I can finally express on television that's not for kids. Nothing that's PG-13.
Right.
This is not like, it's going to be something way more
Is there
intense.
something between PG and R? Or does it just jump to R?
Well, there is a NC-17.
Oh, that is no children under 17.
Right.
That is a not safe for work program that you're referring to.
But R, yeah, because R, you can be 17 with an accompaniment of
An
an
adult.
adult. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that's it.
Yeah,
Right?
that's it. Well, and then you get into X and shit.
Well,
So, speaking of, how would one differentiate between 1X, 2X, or a 3X pornography?
oh, that
Is
is
there such a thing? Is there, or is it just X rated? Is there a difference between the X's?
We're gonna have to
Is
look.
it like
this up.
alcohol? Like how many X's do you have in your moonshine kind of thing?
Well, what classifies an X in moonshine?
I don't know. Maybe the amounts or
man.
the proof?
The proof. Okay, well, usually moonshine is like 90 proof, right? Can you have 90 proof?
That's gasoline, probably. When you put it in your tank.
A lot of moonshine.
So then-
people went blind.
So what? There's just more dick and vag in a 3X than there is in the 1X?
Is it like, just a single couple versus like an orgy type thing? And it's just gross?
We'll research that
This will be on the next
on
episode.
the next episode. It'll be a very special episode of the Foo Bar Show.
A very, very
very
special
special.
episode.
Anyhow, what the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, we're back to Comic-Con. So,
Legend of the White Dragon.
Legend of the oh shit. No, I was done. Right, we were done. I thought it was pretty cool that they reached a 500,000. I mean, they could potentially reach a higher number if they keep this going.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I
unless
bet.
they have some actual other types of financial backers to this.
Yeah, but that's amazing with crowdfunding like that, because now, like what they were saying at the panel, they're not listening to the company that's producing it. They're listening to the fans because
Right.
the fans are paying for it. So that makes for a better movie.
And now
essentially.
you have evidence that there's an audience for this. You actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
financial evidence that like this amount of people care so much to donate so much of this money, of their own money, to get something like this made. Probably for, I don't know, they get their name on the credits maybe. I
Usually
guess.
that's what happens.
That's what,
yeah.
and then they get some swag on the side or something.
Depending on how much you donate, there can
Right.
be like, oh, you get this free T-shirt if you donate like a certain amount, or if you donate even more, you get to be on set.
Right.
Yeah.
So cool. Now I noticed that you have a couple of books here on the table.
Oh, yeah.
What did you want to talk about with one of these? Because
All right.
we stumble up against one of these guys that wrote, and I don't know, did he draw
So
this comic book?
we were walking around the aisles and I saw this cover for the Time Bandits. And it's a story about these 4 raccoons.
The Christmas Bandits.
Oh, the Christmas Bandits. God damn it, I can't even read. It's about these 4 raccoons that help Santa Claus defeat monsters to save Christmas. And we met the writer for the book, Brian
Mongi?
Mongi. I hope I'm not butchering that, but I probably am. And he's a pretty good dude. He works. God damn it!
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Yeah.
This is the point where
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
every single episode this happens. So
Jeez.
he was in collaboration with the.
It's gonna let you crash and burn right now. Go for it.
God
Go
damn
for
it!
it.
I was on a roll. Ariel Olivetti illustrated it, and Ariel worked on a couple of projects for Marvel and DC, so they both collabed, and the artwork looks amazing.
It's pretty cool looking.
And
It's like can you picture, remember that big buff ass Batman that was it The Dark Knight
He's-
animated movie
yeah.
where he was all big looking? That's what Santa Claus looks like.
Santa Claus looks like a beast. Like
Yeah.
he just deadlifts at all times.
That's all he does.
Yep.
When it's not Christmas, he's fucking lifting and yeah, he's just being a badass.
He's all yoked out.
Oh dude, he's huge.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of
Juggernaut status.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some magic in here. There's a little bit of sci-fi, and I think it's a pretty cute Christmas story.
Yeah. What's the age target range for this kind of comic book, would you say?
I would say it's definitely for a young adult because
Okay.
there is violence in it.
Right.
Might not be for younger
kids,
children.
I mean, kids who like comic books are going to enjoy something like this, though, right?
They're still gonna enjoy it, but it definitely reads like a young adult comic book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only
So 4 raccoons. Does it explain like the origin story of how they met with Santa? Those 4 raccoons.
So these 4 raccoons were up to no good.
Of course, as they do.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood.
They got in one little fight, and their mom got scared. All right.
And, you know, Santa knows what everybody's doing. And so Santa hit them up, and he was just like, I don't want you guys to do bad anymore. So I'm going to have you roll with me. And the rest was history.
He said, "Yo, home. Smell you later." Right.
Yeah. So I don't want to give too much of it away.
Okay.
But essentially, because Santa's lived so long, he's made a couple enemies.
What the fuck?
And there's always people trying
Like
to...
Krampus or like what?
There's, you know, monsters and
Uh,
actual humans trying to steal presents, as they do.
okay.
Santa's there to, you know, get some bully
Keep 'em
beat
in-
down on them. And now he has some coons friends.
Right.
Pew pew.
Are those
No.
laser guns? What are they?
They have on the cover, they have laser guns. One has a katana.
Nice.
It's
No, the
pretty
artwork looks pretty. I can appreciate the shit out of that artwork. Not having read it yet,
Yeah, it's nice and smooth.
just looking at it. Yeah. And then so as we continued walking along the aisles there, you stumbled up upon an author with a legit looking freaking book here, like a sci-fi book called The Ship
Ship.
by Doug Brody.
Yes.
He was cool to talk to.
He was a fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was open, and we got a few words with him. But The Ship by Doug Brody. I can't wait to read this.
It's also on audiobook too, apparently, like on Audible or pretty much anywhere where you get audiobooks. So I know that's mainly how you consume things, but you're actually going to try to read this?
Oh, yeah. Like I have, you know, there's
Like with your eyes and shit?
there's loads of books here at Filthy Martini Studios.
Yeah, there's a big library here.
There's a huge library here, so this is another one for my collection. So I'm going to read the synopsis that's written here on the back of the book. Deep within the snow-crested mountains, 9,000 feet above the lumber town of Blackwood, Oregon, a vessel has arrived. It is a craft of enormous dimensions covering the mountainous peak, and yet the ground beside it remains undisturbed. Not a single pine tree broken, not a sound to be heard. Inside the craft, however, things are not as quiet. A young waitress, Casey Stevens, awakens after having mysteriously vanished from Blackwood 35 years earlier. And she is not alone. Navigating inverted tunnels, she is plagued by ghost apparitions from her past and stalked by ravenous alien experiment gone horribly wrong. When Casey discovers her own body is changing, becoming botched with gray scaly patches, she fears she may face the same fate as the once human creature that now hunts her.
Dang. Crazy.
Ooh.
So
Chills, literal chills.
that's a cool premise.
Whew.
That's a real cool premise. And we actually, it was his idea to record him for a little bit
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
it. So we actually got some audio and video of us talking to Doug Brody. So let's play it. All right, so here we are at LA Comic Con. We're here with Steph and Doug Brody. Steph just bought a book called The Ship, and we all know that Steph is all about, you know, aliens and X-Files and things like that. But so this caught her eye. What's up with this, Steph?
So actually, I will let Mr. Doug tell you all about it because I just happened to come across this just on the fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have done a lot of storyboard and concept art for movies like Star Trek, Iron Man, Thor, Harry Potter, blah blah blah. And I wanted to write, my own story, and I created a story about a woman who gets abducted and wakes up 35 years later inside a crashed UFO, and she's trying to escape. And maybe not everything is quite as otherworldly as people might think with UFOs and this and that. So I have different theories about that. So I put all those theories into a book. I had the idea for about 10 years, and it took me about 2 years to write it. And the second book, The Ship Returns, comes out this summer, or summerish.
What was the inspiration behind it, or did you already kind of have this? Was this a brainchild that you had for a long time now?
I created a show called Forbidden Science, and they put a lot more TNA in there than I had originally meant to. It was supposed to be a sexy show, but they went farther than I had meant it to be. So I sold a couple other scripts and I optioned a couple and they just ended up on shelves. And I loved the story. I had this idea for 10 years, so I decided just to keep it. And then I finally wrote it into a book. The inspiration came from my love of X-Files and Alien, the first one and the second one, The Thing by John Carpenter. And I wanted to take the 80s and 90s tropes and kind of bring them up to date for today. So if you like those kinds of things, I think you might like the show.
Very cool. Very cool. And this just came out?
It came out this summer.
Okay.
So it's been out a
couple months. Okay.
And then the audiobook just dropped, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, very cool. Okay. I know that's how Steph tends to consume her books, through an audiobook.
I like a book. I like the words. I like to read it, because I don't want somebody else's voice in my head. Yeah. But the audiobook, a lot of people asked for it, and the guy we hired did a great job. So, so it's available in any format imaginable.
Very cool.
Oh, except Braille. We don't have it in Braille.
Uh-oh. Hey, one of these days maybe, right?
What would you say your all-time favorite sci-fi movie is?
Well, certainly The Empire Strikes Back inspired me to be an artist. It's kind of tough to beat Lucas. Especially if you grew up in that time period before Marvel and all this stuff. Star Wars really was an anomaly. There was nothing like it when I was a kid. But there was John Milius' Conan the Barbarian, which is fantasy, but it's basically Star Wars with swords. What else? Aliens, 82 had a great run. 82 you had, The Thing, Road Warrior, E.T., although I don't watch that, it makes me cry. You had everything in that year. Oh, Wrath of Khan, everything that came out in this 18-month period. All of my favorite movies are basically from an 18-month period of 81 to 83. So
that's how music was back in 91 and 92. when grunge was exploding. So that's kind of the same feeling you get when you watch your movies from back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah, we will be reading the shit for sure on the podcast.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking a chance on a new author. So thank you.
I can't wait to read it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he was a really cool guy. His wife was is the lady being heard in the background selling, the book to other people and other merch that they had going on there on the table.
Yeah, so he mentioned Forbidden Science, which is actually playing on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that a series?
I believe so. And he mentioned he was on the art team for a lot of projects. Mm-hmm. Did the storyboards for Star Trek, Iron Man, Thor, Looper, older movies, Van Helsing. He's great.
He also did the storyboard for the Foo Fighters' new horror movie called Studio 666 that's coming out soon.
Oh, yeah,
So
you were mentioning that movie.
He did the storyboarding for that too. So so this guy has a good resume.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the fact that he understands and appreciates those tropes from the 80s and 90s and is putting it into the story called The Ship. I'm excited to listen. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook.
Yeah,
you're going to be the one reading it. So.
I'm gonna dive deep into this book.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Just based on his background and love of science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I can't wait. This looks like a great read.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, I think that was towards the tail end.
That was
right?
towards the tail end, and Christine, our unpaid intern, left us for a while to take pictures with Tom Welling.
That's right. Tom Welling, the Smallville Superman guy.
Our hometown hero.
Right.
Is that what we're calling him?
Nah, that's not what I'm calling him.
No, we're not from Kansas.
Nope.
What did she say? Okay. Most of you have never seen Christine before, but she's this short little bright-eyed girl. Mm-hmm. And she gets super excited, for just random things. So she gets there and she's I'm not in the photo with them because I'm over here interviewing other people. And she just comes up and she does her little happy dance. It's almost like dogs are tippy tapping. That's what she's doing. And her eyes are bright and she's smiling and she describes his reaction as the way that she's reacting. He just mimics her face with wide eyes.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And the picture came out pretty cool.
It's cheesy as fuck.
Right?
She's all like excited and smiling, and he's just kind of there, just chilling.
Like, sup?
Sup. Yeah. I thought it was, you know what? I probably would have gone for some of those photo opportunities, but you know that it's COVID times. There's a plexiglass in between you. You know, you can't be.
Yeah, but you know, in the picture, you can tell there's plexiglass there, but the picture itself still looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who you're standing next to.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
It's for safety.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh?
Tommy Wiseau.
We saw Tommy Wiseau
Tommy
like in the
Wiseau.
fucking flesh. He would have his mask on, but like if you took a picture of him, he would get behind his own little kind of booth, plexiglass booth, so he could take his mask off.
Yeah.
But he was fucking there, man, throwing football around.
Yeah, he was having
just
a great
talking to
time.
people, signing stuff. You can buy like the posters, the movie, the Room, and he'll sign it for you. You can buy like all kinds of like underwear with Tommy Wiseau on it.
I almost did it. I couldn't do it.
You know, I would have probably ended up buying the poster and had him sign it just for irony purposes and frame it and put it up here somewhere in the Filthy Martini studio.
Oh, damn it. We should have.
But whatever. That was it was cool to see him. I snapped a picture of him. Yeah. It was cool. But yeah, man, it was a great time. It was a great time. You know, we only went for the one day. Actually, you went on Friday to pick up the badges. And you actually walked around for a little bit just to kind of get the lay of the land, right?
I walked around for a little bit, and there was maybe just a handful of people there. I went to the Hot Topic booth to check it out. There are a lot of things, a lot of exclusives were already sold out Friday night.
Jeez.
So I can imagine Saturday. They probably had some reserve left just for Saturday. But those exclusives go by fast. And those are usually like the Funko Pop toys. They had a Spider-Man, and then they had the Batman animated series Two-Face, which were the hot items. And the Two-Face sold out, so I couldn't get my hands on one. And that's the way it is. But they were showing their line of clothing. And I really like there's like a Mandalorian line. There was like a nice long sleeve Mandalorian dress for whoever wants to wear it, but I liked it. It had the helmet. I mean, no, it wasn't Mandalorian. It was Boba Fett. It's fucking Boba Fett.
He's a Mandalorian, so it counts.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. You have anything else you wanted to talk about? The food trucks? Those were cool. We got barbecue.
You know what? It was probably the best experience at a convention for food because we were only in line for like 15 minutes just to order.
And get our food.
And get the food. Yeah.
At least in that line, we got the barbecue one.
Oh, yeah. It was
there was different kinds. There was tacos, of course. There was all kinds of like fusion ones. Mediterranean, Greek, ice cream.
Ice cream from New Zealand.
New Zealand ice cream. Because so they mixed in fruit with the ice cream.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Christine got some. And it was nice and flavorful.
Hot dogs, burgers, of course. But like their way, I guess. I don't know.
More drinks outside.
Yeah, there was another bar out there too. You can get it's full fucking bar.
Yeah.
Get your drink on. But you know, you had to pay for it, of course.
Of course.
Those convention prices. But yeah, good experience. I recommend. I felt, and you know, you don't feel uncomfortable at any point. Everybody's trying to really respect the security measures for, you know, COVID.
Right. Yep.
And stuff like that. It's a bitch wearing a mask all day long, but if you work in a place where you have to wear a mask all day anyway, it's just another day for you.
And there were some people that were wearing like a full face shield in lieu of the mask.
Yeah.
So I did see some of that.
Yeah.
So, well, you know, you're still protecting yourself.
Also, for the sake of their cosplaying too, you know, it wouldn't make sense if their face was covered because that probably like would take away from the cosplay itself. So they were wearing the plexi face shields. Yeah. Which is okay.
So this was Comic-Con's 10th anniversary. We've been going almost every single year. I think there was a couple years that we missed. But at least Christine and I go every year. And we will definitely be back next time around.
Yeah, and a special thanks to Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con in particular, for providing us with press passes, man. You guys are freaking awesome. We'll continue to cover LA Comic-Con. It's you could see its definite growth. Like, it's definitely maturing and getting more towards that like main, like it's one of the main Comic Cons.
Oh yeah,
It's come up. Yeah, it's come up now.
it's definitely in good competition with the San Diego Comic Con for California.
Yeah, and we've yet to check out the New York Comic Con. I'd like to check that out at some point.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
because
that's a big deal too.
Those are international Comic Cons.
Right.
The LA Comic Con is specifically just for this area.
Right.
So I haven't been to an international one yet. Hope to go next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
One of the funnier things that has happened to at least Steph and I within the last couple of days is that we took our dogs to the vet yesterday. And I've been saying this for months, Steph. Our dog Taz, he's a Rottweiler. He's only what, 2 years old?
He is 2.
He's 2 years old, and he's fat.
He's fat.
And the vet, in the nicest way possible, told us, "Hey, your kid's fat.
Kid's fat.
He can't do a push-up. He's not gonna pass the presidential fitness exam."
I mean, look at him. He's struggling to breathe.
You got to work on that. all
Yeah.
right? Give him a fucking lettuce.
Yeah.
Bowl of lettuce. Give him a fucking celery stick.
Yeah, every now and again,
leave
for
out the
fuck's
peanut
sake.
butter, kid. Yeah, he doesn't always need the peanut butter on the celery stick.
Right?
Take away the peanut butter.
Yeah, the ants on a log, we can
man.
do without the stuff on the log.
It's funny because the vet tech comes up to me and she's just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we need to put Taz on a diet. So we're going to limit his intake to 3.5 cups a day." And I'm thinking, like, damn, that's...
And
he
sorry
eats
to cut you off there, Steph, but I had my fingers crossed and they said the vet tech wants to talk to you.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, all right, put him down. Here we go. We
No.
got to put him down.
Nope.
And then like, God damn it, we don't got to put him down. We just got to put him on a diet. But anyway, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
This dog needs to lose 11 pounds. That's a lot for a dog.
Dang.
To go from obese to just fat, by the way. In my opinion, it should be more like towards 20. But he's a fat dog. Like,
Yeah.
and in the morning, because we have, in order to restrain these dogs, or at least to be able to handle them on the way to the vet, like from the car to the vet's office, like just the parking lot itself, we got to not only just put a collar on them, but a body harness.
Right.
And in the morning, when I was getting this fucking dog ready, the harness wouldn't fit him anymore.
Didn't fit.
I had to like readjust it so that it can go around this guy.
No.
And it hasn't been that
you
long
gotta
since
carry
he's
him?
been to the vet. Huh?
Did you have to carry him into the car?
Like a briefcase?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, no, but he's too heavy. So I just have to guide him.
This dog is almost 100 pounds.
98 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, so
he's the size of a person.
a small
Fucking
person.
tank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beefy.
And yeah, so we get him in the car. He's excited to go. He likes just, for some reason he likes going to the vet.
He gets all the attention.
Not our other dog Pluto though. He hates it. But anyway, so we get there and
can't
then she
blame
comes
him.
out and then she's trying to do it as lightly as possible. You can tell this poor thing just doesn't know how to tell us that our dog's fat and has to present us with paperwork. So, giving us like a prescription diet.
So sad.
Like a list of
Prescription
suggestions.
food.
Yeah, these are just suggestions.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
kept saying that.
These are recommendations that we provide, and you can read through them at your earliest convenience. But we do recommend that Taz go on a diet of no more than 3.5 cups per day. And I'm thinking to myself, damn,
You give him double that.
he eats like 6 cups a day. And then like when he gets excited, when he gets excited, he'll just scoop food into his mouth and then take it with him.
When he has any type of emotion, even when he's upset, he'll go to the bowl and no, this is bullshit.
He's a stress eater.
Yeah, he's
he
a
just
stress-
loves food.
He's a stress eater. He's a happy eater. He's
an
a
emotional
sad eater.
Yeah,
He's just an emotional eater. If he's feeling anything, he's eating.
yeah. That's
He's
what
just
it
an
is.
eater.
Yeah,
And it's funny because like before we picked him up and got told that he needs to be put on a
because
diet,
he's fat.
we went to the pet store next door and bought all of these treats.
All right, hang on. Let me do a quick correction. You bought all of these treats. You're the one who insists on feeding them all the time.
I just wanted to
I am the one who gets yelled at on a regular basis for not filling up their bowls when, in my opinion, I think they've eaten enough for the day. And, we have 2 dogs, so we feed them at the same time, and Taz ends up stealing Pluto's bowl. So, that's how he eats double every day, and then Pluto just eats where, what he has to for sustenance.
He eats what he has to
for sustenance.
Oh my God. I just wanted to get them some Christmas colored treats, and then we
They're
passed.
colorblind.
We passed by
Steph.
the phone.
Steph.
And I was like,
Part of the
let's get the pig femur too. And I'm just like,
The
get 2 of them.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this dog on a
Includes
keto
healthy,
diet.
I'm assuming.
On a keto diet,
Okay.
Yeah,
you just what is it? Just cabbage,
meat and cabbage.
meat and cabbage.
Meat and cabbage.
He's gonna buy a
It's gonna
bunch
be
of.
one stinky house.
As if this Rottweiler wasn't stinky enough. With his fucking
He's gonna be
farts.
toxic.
It's already
some doggy gas X.
chemical warfare.
It's pretty bad sometimes, even with our other dog Pluto. It's last night. It was he was crop dust in the living room.
Oh,
It wasn't good times.
Silent.
I don't know how to fix this, man. I don't know how to fix this.
You're doomed, Foo.
Yeah.
You're just doomed. Hey, you know how you fix it, Foo? You open the door, you carry them, you close the door, and look, they're outside.
Yeah.
They're not in the house anymore.
Yeah.
but
Miracle,
it's
Foo.
cold outside.
I have to
They're
reenact.
fucking dogs.
I have to reenact the
Big dogs.
the Harry and the Hendersons themes. Like, that's your home now. Go. Get out of here and then smack him. And smack him in the face.
Don't love you.
We don't love you anymore.
I actually saw the 30 Rock episode.
Oh,
That
God.
one where he did that to Frank. Go! I don't want you anymore. Goodbye, my friend.
Classic.
Oh God!
Good
wow,
God.
Foo, you got some shitty dogs.
We have cows.
Unintended,
Is
Foo.
what we have.
Mm-hmm.
We have
do.
bovine.
You have livestock that produce nothing, Foo.
Yeah.
Methane.
Nothing.
Just methane.
Yeah, methane. They're just attributing to global warming. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, guys.
Hey,
Thanks for helping out. You're just.
we
You
do
know,
what we
you-
can.
I knew you guys were secretly a family of villains, just slowly plotting the end of all of humanity. in the
Yeah.
world.
With Rottweiler
Signs are
farts.
there.
Rottweiler
Just gonna
Farts is the
throw-
name of my new band. Geeking Out is brought to us by the new Battery, the new Batman-approved terry towel. The music highlights is brought to us by Give It Away, the new pocket scale by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Beer Batters, the best baseball-themed sports bar and grill in town.
It's a lot of alliteration.
Beer Batters. The Joint Report is brought to us by Freedom, the new line of cannabis products by Elmer Fudd. I'm hunting wabbits. Foo Facts is brought to us by the new 404 cleaning formula by Mr. Clean. You wouldn't be able to find any dirt anywhere. 404.
God damn it.
Really?
I
And
just
I'm
got-
talking to
I
an
just-
IT guy.
I just
Jesus
got it,
Christ,
dude.
Josh.
I just fucking
For
got it.
fuck's sake.
God damn it.
Error.
God damn it. Page not found.
Geeking Out is brought to us by Farce-Sighted, the first glasses of its kind to see people's bullshit.
Where can I get a pair of those?
Aren't you wearing them?
The Joint Report is brought to us by High and Dry, the best THC-infused bath towels. Get yours today.
Don't forget to bring it down.
That's right. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Nothing But Net, the official in vitro fertilization home kit of the Basketball Olympics.
Swish.
The music highlights is brought to us by Record Scratch, Jay-Z's new business venture of certified expungement law offices.
Proud of that one, huh?
Nope. And Foo Facts, Foos, is brought to us by Fucker in Fuckatash, the new Western-style brothel just outside of Vegas.
They definitely saw a putty tat there, didn't they?
Geeking Out is brought to us by the Peter Parker School of Web Design. Registration for fall classes is now open.
Ooh.
The Joint Report is brought to us by Hydrated, the new sports drink infused with THC. Hydrated.
I would do it, foo.
Yeah. Fubar Sports is brought to us by A Bada Bada, the official bunt cake batter mix of the MLB. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Faux Drizzle, Snoop Dogg's new line of umbrellas. And Foo Facts Foos is brought to us by Smoke and Body, the #1 crematorium in town.
Wow.
You think that was going to be something else?
That was quite a turn.
Geeking Out is brought to us by the Stan Lee Cup, the annual comic book achievement award ceremony. The Joint Report is brought to us by Rooting for You, the best lawn seeder money can buy. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Bill Cosby's new line of medicine cabinets. Find the Mickey Mantle at your local hardware store today.
Wow.
Kind of reached for that one.
The Mickey Mantle.
Right.
You know what? I'll allow it. That was clever as fuck, foo. I'll take it.
The Music Highlights is brought to us by The Walk Says, the new line of high-quality stir-fry pans by Dwayne Johnson.
Man, that guy's in everything now.
I know, dude. That guy has his hands in all kinds of stuff.
I would buy that.
I think we all would.
Yeah.
The Walk Says.
The Walk Says. Can you smell what the Walk
Right.
is cooking?
it writes itself, dude.
Look, we need you to make that and give us a piece of the advertising.
Just
flag.
give us a credit, man. That's all. Just give us some credit.
Just a little.
Do free advertising. Yeah, free advertising.
And Foo Facts Foos is brought to us by the I'd Hit That boxing gym, now open. The Woes of Online Dating is brought to us by Freshly Baked. Having a case of the Mondays? Don't clock in without getting a little freshly baked.
Isn't that a repeat?
Shut up. No, it's not. No, it's not. Geeking Out is brought to us by Uncle Ben's Rice Meals, the best meal to enjoy after a botched robbery. Catch Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters. It's December. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Blitzed, the one and only tailgate alcohol party pack designed to get everybody kicked off of the stadium property before kickoff. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Finger Banging. Learn how to play your favorite gangster rap hits on guitar with finger banging. And Foo Facts Foos is brought to us by Ivermectin, because your dumbass has rights. Geeking Out is brought to us by Fudge Packers, Hershey's new line of butt plugs.
Does it come in dark chocolate?
With nuts.
That one's bigger.
Oh.
So, yeah. The Joint Report is brought to us by Fun Guys. Take a trip with their new line of psilocybin products. Fun Guy. Fubar Sports is brought to us by No Punt Intended, the most effective 2-point conversion playbook ever. The Music Highlights is brought to us by That's Bassist, the new comedy roast that shits on bass players.
That's basis.
Are you the host?
That's all me. It's my new project.
He's all mouth.
And Foo Facts Foos is brought to us by Sunday School. Learn how to make the best homemade ice cream at Sunday School. Geeking Out is brought to us by The Garbage Men. Pay a professional to join you on your favorite first-person shooter game, The Garbage Men. They're used to carrying trash. The Joint Report is brought to us by Weed My Lips, the best lip balm infused with THC. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Pennell Tea, the best black tea brewed in jockstraps.
That doesn't sound delicious at all. Well, I mean, it could be better than Earl Grey.
The Music Highlights is brought to us by Mean Flows. The creators of the Vagina Monologues brings us Mean Flows, the celebrated rap battle about the menstrual cycle.
He's just yelling at me for an hour and a half.
But it rhymes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't do the dishes. Now you gotta sleep with the fishes.
Oh! And Foo Facts! Foos is brought to us by Fish and Chips, the best free-range fish hand-battered and fried in Chernobyl. Geeking Out is brought to us by Streak Fighter, the new whitening detergent by Capcom. Yeah. Especially for you, Josh, you dirty fuck. The Joint Report is brought to us by Bud Naked, the only smoking lounge for nudists. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Pigskins, the only pork rinds shaped like footballs. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Melodies. Increase your breast size while keeping the natural-looking sag. Get it done at Melodies.
Seafood, no, that's what the people want, food. That's what the people want.
Some saggy-ass Ds, but, they weren't Ds before.
Food, need them to be little, the natural look food.
Melodies.
Yeah.
A little natural.
Get those melodies by your knees. That's the tagline right there. Foo Facts! Foos is brought to us by the new and improved Pet Rock. This is one pet rock you won't take for granted.
Leave.
Get the fuck out.
Geeking Out is brought to us by God Ham, Bruce Wayne's new line of pork products.
Hickory and maple?
He has them all.
Oh.
Yeah, he's Bruce Wayne, for God's sake.
Oh, that's true.
The Joint Report is brought to us by Coffin, the new cannabis-themed caskets. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Take a Knee, amputee surgeons.
Oh, no.
The Music Highlights is brought to us by Fiancé, Jay-Z's new line of engagement rings. Why that hasn't happened yet is fucking weird to me.
Oh, man. A lot of people would buy that line.
I know!
Fiancé.
Fiancé?
Fiancé.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys can have that and give us a percentage of the cut.
Yeah, give us a little stipend.
100,000 is fine.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Per. Thanks.
That's chump change to you guys.
Foo Facts! Foos is brought to us by Booby Traps, the new line of bras exclusively sold at your local titty bar. Geeking Out is brought to us by Scrambled Eggs, the only vibrator that dares to have a setting at 25,000 RPMs.
Wow.
I bet a lot of pro-choice people would like that very much.
Yeah, well, it'll take care of something. At a certain point, it's not pleasurable. I don't know.
Sounds like it's gonna chafe.
It'll sell in Texas, food. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust
Wow.
me. It'll do it.
The Joint Report is brought to us by The High Ground, the new cannabis collective founded by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Chokers. Now you can get on your favorite second place sports team on your S&M gear. Get it at Chokers. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Record Scratchers. Hire a sober professional to dictate when there's been a party foul with Record Scratchers. You always need that one guy.
I would hire that guy.
Mm-hmm. Bring his own record. Scratch it.
Just makes
whenever appropriate.
The party foo.
Yeah, like if the foo says like a bad pun, everybody freezes, looks at him. It'd be perfect. It'd be on brand for this show, at least.
then just goes with the song again.
Yeah, exactly. Foo Facts! Foos is brought to us by Nautical Nymphos, the world's best brothel in the middle of the ocean. Health and Such is brought to us by I, the first ever urology and optometry practice all in one. Make your appointment today. Geeking Out is brought to us by Bloodbath and Beyond. Get your next firearm at Bloodbath and Beyond. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Che Guevara, the finest Cuban and French fusion cuisine. Come home to Che Guevara. Geeking Out is brought to us by Ditcher Quick and Bolt Divorce Lawyers. The Joint Report is brought to us by Death Row Inmate Calendars. Their days are numbered. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Are We Hair Yet? The #1 hair transplant service around. Geeking Out is brought to us by Stubbs Prosthetics. Need a hand? Get it at Stubbs. The Joint Report is brought to us by Growers and Showers Nursery and Botanical Gardens, now open. The Music Highlights is brought to us by the new album by The Algorithms, the new math rock album by Al Gore. The Algorithms. Geeking Out is brought to us by Doggy Style, dog groomers, now open. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Master Bait, the best fishing supply store around. Reel it in at Master Bait.
They give you your own hooks and everything, Foo?
And everything, and your tackle box, and
Ooh.
the whole thing.
What about them wiggly worms, Foo?
Well, they call
No
it
crab
Master Bait for a reason. Yeah.
Well, hopefully no crabs.
The Music Highlights is brought to us by Vinyl Resting Place. Get your ashes compressed into a vinyl record at Vinyl Resting Place. Geeking Out is brought to us by Titty Titty Bang Bang. Smith & Wesson now makes a high-quality banging lingerie. Get your sex on at Titty Titty Bang Bang.
That reminds me of those fembots from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Barrels just come right out of the boobs. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Indeed. No, yeah, those are fun. As growing up, watching those Austin Power movies, I learned a lot about sex just watching Austin Power.
Right.
And I'm like, so that's what boobs are for.
Yes.
For murdering people. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Notepads, the new feminine hygiene pad with a subwoofer built in.
Ooh.
Geeking Out is brought to us by Handsome. Have you always dreamed of a threesome but can barely get a twosome going in rare occasions? Introducing Handsome, the new pleasure device for those who have settled on just keeping it real. Fubar Sports is brought to us by Goalkeepers, FIFA's new line of contraceptive products. Goalkeepers, you can't win them all. The Music Highlights is brought to us by Bald Patch. Need a new band name? Get in touch with the good people at Bald Patch, and they'll have one to you in seconds right off the top of their head.
Fubar!